Football Club and American football Brit Ball style is back. We are Onside Productions in our 5th year of broadcasting live British American football games to you, and we are psyched to be back. I'm Carl Walkinshaw and I'll be your lead commentator today, and I'm here with my good buddy and friend over the last 5 years, been doing this job, and here we are back after COVID. It's Matt Walker.
How good does this feel, Carl? This is amazing to be back and to be bringing you this first game of this 21 season, which is a little bit different. We'll talk about that as we go, but bringing you Tamworth against Leicester this afternoon, and you can see from the pictures there, the enthusiasm is palpable.
It really is, and we're excited to bring you the game from Coleshill. Tamworth today are hosting Leicester Falcons. We're going to talk a little bit about how the season is going to be structured and people getting over this COVID virus, and just in that stage 5 of 6 stages that BAFA have put out there. But how's the off season been for you, Matt? We've had a long off season.
Well, it seemed like forever, hasn't it, really? I mean, one thing or another with the COVID affecting pretty much everybody's life, and just getting used to this new way of living, and obviously we want it to get back to normal as soon as we possibly can, and this is a good step with this season that BAFA have managed to put into place with the help of all the teams around the country.
Yeah, and it's been an emerging picture, hasn't it? It's been something which they've had to kind of manage, have BAFA, over time. The situation with COVID's been changing, the guidance from the government's been changing, and yet I'm so excited to see fully kitted American football on Coleshill with Tamworth and Leicester, which is going to be a great game. But let's talk about how the season is actually going to be structured this year. We've got this odd situation where there'll be no championship games, no playoffs. But tell us a bit about how the season is structured, Matt.
So ordinarily we'd have different hierarchies of football, from Prem to Div 1 and Div 2, but again, to try and make things work a little bit easier for all involved this year, BAFA have structured 14 divisions. There's up to 6 teams in each division, with I think the London Conference having 4 teams in there, and as you've said, there's no playoffs, there's no bowl games, so it's literally just playing for the standings in each of those divisions, and again, really to get people back into football, because having this long off, call, as we've already seen, I know with your involvement down at Trent, injuries are going to be a significant factor this year, with people not having really been involved with this sport and the conditioning it needs for so long. What they have decided as well, and all the teams have been contacted throughout the league and all the divisions, is that where there are mismatches, so for example, if you were to get a Prem team going up and against a Div 2 team, then where there are those mismatches, the Prem teams have agreed that they're going to play a slightly second, third string roster to try and keep those games competitive and, more importantly, keep them safe, Cole.
Yeah, and that's such an important point. If we look at this division, for instance, so we're in the Mercia division. Obviously, all these divisions are made up. I mean, they didn't exist before this season. So you've got the Crewe Railroaders, who are a Div 2 side. You've got Leicester Falcons, who are Div 1. Sandwell Steelers, who are Prem. Shropshire Revolution, who are Div 1. Staffordshire Surge, Div 2. And then finally Tamworth, who are the runner-up to the National Championship in 2019, which was actually the last competitive game of American football that we saw, and we were there live in London. So you've got this real mixed bag of teams and players, and we don't know also, Matt, do we, what's happened in the off-season to any of these teams?
Well, like you say, those perennial big shots, the likes of the Warriors and the Phoenix, they've had to endure the same off-season, the same uncertainty that everybody has. And ordinarily in any off-season, there is turnover of players. The team looks different from year to year. But given this particular situation that we've been in, you know, the cream could completely sink, and, you know, the lower level teams may well be able to take a bit of a step forward. But equally, this year is really all about teams being able to develop and if you like, going up against the likes of the Warriors, whereby you wouldn't have necessarily played those higher echelon teams before. But it's all about trying to develop the game, develop the teams, and get the British game not only where it was, but beyond, and try and get that sort of the spirit and the love for the game back in these uncertain times.
Yeah, so there's a number of ways in which you can view the season. You could see the season as a long pre-season to 2022, couldn't you? In terms of there's no championships as such, but teams are playing for pride, and there will be that situation at the end of the season where you've got the rankings 1 through 6, but it won't matter. The league are not looking to restructure. So let's say that the Staffordshire Surge won the Mercia division. It would make no difference. They'd still be in Div 2.
But can you imagine the difference it would make to Staffordshire if they could knock off somebody like a Tamworth Phoenix? Even if that Tamworth Phoenix roster on that particular day, was a little bit, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody, but not necessarily as strong as they may put out against a Warriors, for example. But just the bragging rights for those, the Crew Railroaders, like you say, or a Div 2 side to go, we've notched a win against the Tamworth Phoenix.
Yeah, or even were competitive in the first half, or even the situation where Tamworth are having to bring on their better players to play a Div 2 side in order to beat them. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, those bigger squads have much more flexibility around who they can put on. If you've got backups you can put on against those lesser teams, then you've got an opportunity to give those players that wouldn't normally get good game time, they're going to get an opportunity to play and show what they can do.
Absolutely, and the nice thing is then, in terms of when Tamworth do play a Sandwell, and you've got what is a legitimate Premier fixture there, you've got the big guns who have been rested a little bit more as well. The injuries may well not be quite as much of a factor, and they can come on and knock heads as they would have done in any ordinary Prem season.
So today it's Tamworth Phoenix versus Leicester Falcons, and what's great about this kickoff of this game is that this is likely to be a competitive game. These are two teams that have played each other before. Leicester Falcons has had an experience of Premiership football but got demoted last in 2019. Tamworth, obviously perennial champions of the North, have been dominant for a number of years, at least 3 years. And they're going to come out wanting to show that they are still in great shape. And when you look down the rosters, Matt, what strikes you about the Tamworth roster?
Well, it's huge, as it normally is. I mean, anybody in the Coleshill area around the West Midlands there, you've got Sandwell, you've got Tamworth, obviously. But the Tamworth Phoenix have now established themselves as the team to play for if you're in that area. And the roster particularly, highlights that. You've got returning players such as Deji Ali, running back, who made such an impact in previous years. Angus Cook, quarterback. Elliot Walters, who's lightning fast from the running back position. You've got old stalwarts in there like Will Hobbs, who seems to have played for more football teams around Europe than actually I've had hot dinners, but still comes back to the Phoenix year on year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, your specialist guard, they're always strong on defence, and it's something that Jason Scott prides himself on.
They are. Jason Scott, obviously returning, is now the Great Britain American football coach for the men's senior football team. So that's a hell of a scout for him to get that. Also still involved in University of Nottingham football, but yeah, he's tough on defence, great individual linebackers coach, and obviously now a fantastic head coach that seems to bring success wherever he goes. So he's got that skill to be able to craft these teams and put them together, and they're always competitive and always tough to beat. On the Leicester side, Matt, it seems to be less returning players, but again, a very big squad. What do you see for Leicester?
Well, again, I know the Leicester aspirations year on year are to be an established Premiership side, rather, and the time they spent in the Premiership, it was difficult for them, but I know that experience will serve them well, and I know that all involved with the Falcons there are desperate to be one of these established Premiership teams rather than a sort of yo-yo team who are going to go up and down. So good things on the cards, I think, for Leicester this season, and again, with it being a developmental league, if you like, it'll give them opportunities to get those second and third string players plenty of game time for their push when hopefully return to a more normal season in 2022.
Now, there has been some additional rule changes for this return to American football, and we'll be running through those as we go through. We'll be discussing just how BAFA have put this together. There are some changes, and we'll let you know as we progress through the game what those rule changes are. Interestingly, there's new unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, which we'll come to in a second, but you can see also on the field as the players, you can just see Tamworth there on the sideline. The actual position of the players' box has moved to the 10-yard line in order to ensure that social distancing is kept in check. And Matt, the coaches are also responsible for ensuring on that sideline that players do maintain social distancing, which will be difficult, won't it? It
really will, because again, these guys, the majority of them have been involved in football for years and years, and as a result they will know what game day feels like, and they're having to temper their expectations and also make sure that they allude, like one of these unsportsmanlike rules that you suggested is about speaking to an opponent or an official without wearing a face mask, or without thinking about social distancing, which could result in a disqualification.
Some of these rules are going to be difficult to enforce, but we'll see how the referees get on. The referees obviously have a challenge. On the field, they can control what happens, but on the sideline, it's going to be more difficult to see how those players are actually responding. And it is the responsibility of everyone now returning to British American football that we do ensure that social distancing is kept in place. We have such a special arrangement with sport in this country, don't we? I mean, the general public can only gather 6 people at a time, even in outdoor spaces, but we have a situation where we're able to bring together spectators, Leicester Falcons, Tamworth Phoenix, the referees, everyone involved in the game. It's a really special situation. We need to respect it, don't we, Matt?
Absolutely we do, and I think everyone's worked so hard to be able to get to this point. We need to make sure that the rules, the new enforced rules, are respected so that we can have this season which will benefit so many people. And I tell you what, Carl, another thing than just looking down the fixtures, 17 games around the country today, and we will be trying to bring you the scores as they happen around the country. So looking forward to this one, Carl.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you would like to get in touch with us, you can. You can see the hashtag on the screen. Hashtag Tam versus Lay, L-E-I. Tam versus Lay, L-E-I. Get in touch with us on Twitter. Are you looking forward to the start of the American football season? Is your team playing today? Let us know where you're from and how you're feeling about the start to the season.
May have noticed those that have followed before us. Those have followed before us. Little bit of a role reversal this afternoon with Carl and I. I am usually on the play-by-play, and Carl usually provides the colour, and he's much better at providing colour than I am. But basically, all being well, we have another stream for you later on this afternoon between the Hertfordshire Cheetahs and the Wembley Stallions. That'll be kicking off at 3 o'clock. And as a result of that, I'm going to jump over to that game and let Carl culminate.
Turn that on.
Match of this afternoon.
Okay.
So Deji Ali
have won the toss and have opted to defer. So the ball will be received at this end of the field. Okay, yeah, thank you.
So Tamworth Phoenix, I think, had won the toss, but declined, and it will be the Leicester Falcons that actually received the football. Tamworth obviously wanting to take the football in the second half. And Matt, we're just a few minutes away from live American football. But first, we want to honour one of our fallen comrades in the game, and that is Dan Smith. So we're going to take a minute's applause for Dan. Many of you know that Coach Dan Smith was a giant at the British game and will be sorely missed. He was a coach with the Tamworth Phoenix, and he was known around the league. So we're remembering Coach Dan Smith with our applause. So a beautiful tribute there to Coach Dan Smith. I think to be wearing his initials DJS throughout this season. Matt, we're nearly ready for American football. What are your predictions for Leicester versus Tamworth?
Well, in an ordinary season, you'd put Tamworth as real strong favourites in this one. But having said that, both teams have got a very deep roster. They've got plenty of bodies on the sideline. I know, obviously, that Leicester are going to try and have to tone things down a little bit with the fact that... Tamworth are going to have to tone things down a little bit with the fact that Leicester are that Division 1 side. So we're about to get started, Carl.
About to get started, but first, let's go to a quick ad from our sponsors. How you feel tomorrow starts today. We put your safety first. We're experts you can trust with a range of specialities, and we have an award-winning healthcare, building a healthier nation, one goal at a time. We're Nuffield Health. Nuffield Health, Leicester Hospital. one of the sponsors of today's game, and we're grateful to them. Back to the game, and we're getting ready for that kickoff, Matt. Well, I'm excited. It's been a long wait, and here we are.
I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait for this. It's been so long coming, and just to see any football action. Obviously, if anyone follows the NFL, we've been able to follow the off-season with the draft, which was another incredible draft with all those quarterbacks going so high. But now we're back to grassroots football in the UK, and really, if you are an NFL fan, you know, if you're an NFL fan, why wouldn't you be a fan of football in your own country, Cole?
It's going to be Lenkowski that kicks off. Alex Lenkowski's kicking off to this Leicester side, and we'll get you the returning number as soon as we can. And here we go. British American football is back, and it's picked up in the end zone, and number 19 coming out as he takes the ball. Wow, he breaks a couple of tackles and brings the ball out to close to the 30-yard line. A nice return there, Matt.
It looks like there may be a flag down at the 20 there, and indeed at midfield as well, but that was Anakunle on the return, and like you say, good momentum, but this could be coming back.
So a nice start from Leicester if it stands. We'll check on the flag in a minute. Tamworth like to put that defence out first, don't they, and just set the tone for the rest of the game with that defence. They've obviously always put that emphasis on defensive play.
In the past, you know, they've had a very explosive offense, but I think, like you say, Cole, it's very important for the Phoenix to establish that dominance on defense and then almost grind an opposing offense down. Officials still talking about that opening flag.
Referees gathered at the 20, well, close to the 30-yard line now. And just they have to, of course, maintain social distancing as well, which might add some additional time in terms of how they discuss these rulings on the field.
During the play, live ball foul, illegal block at the back.
So we think, I've heard a live ball foul, which was an illegal block in the back against Leicester, and I think there was an unsportsmanlike as well that came in. So we'll see what the net value of that is. It's going to be a long penalty, and that brings them all the way out to the 24-yard line. So it looks like Leicester are going to be first and 10 at the 24, Matt.
It does. It appears penalties on both teams there, and you can imagine there may well be a fair few flags in this one, not least because of the rustiness of both outfits, getting back into things, but equally just that aggression and enthusiasm may well spill over. Again, these two teams will have played each other in the Prem a couple of years ago when we last had football, and both being Midlands rivals. It will be a spicy one, Carl.
So here we go for the first play of the game, notwithstanding special teams, as Leicester come out with their quarterback Van der Ven, who we've not seen before. We'll see how he plays, wearing that very confident number 1, under centre to start this one, and it will be play action, looking for action down the field, and he does complete to number 43, who is running back Hopkins, who makes a nice play out of the backfield, and they've picked up some yardage there, Matt. Nice start.
Interesting there, Carl. Obviously, most teams would try and look to the run on first down, particularly at the start of the game, try and establish that running game, get the men in the trenches at the front all confident. But the Falcons there elect to play action and then roll out, and he hits his running back Hopkins with a nice positive play. And I suppose when you've been out of football this long, Carl, all you want is positivity on first down.
So that'll move them up to the 35-yard line, and it will be second and about 6 to go on this. Leicester talking about it as they get these formations in. Shotgun this time. We're running back to the left-hand side, and twins down to the bottom of your screen. Van der Ven takes the snap, nice snap, looks to his left and complete. Nice play by Leicester. It's going to be slightly short of the first down as Tamworth rally to the ball.
I believe that was Jones, receiver number 11, with the reception. But again, 2 plays, 2 positive plays. But I remember doing the Brit Bowl game a couple of years back, and a key feature was that swarming Tamworth defence, Cole. And it's evident there, 3 or 4 men on the ball, on the receiver, almost straight away. And it's going to be close to, it looks like the chains are moving there at the top of the screen, Cole. So that will be first down Leicester, 2 positive plays and 10 yards picked up. The Leicester coaches were really pleased with the way that they've started in this one. 2 plays, 2 passes, passes and a first down.
They certainly will, as they come out for a new set of downs now at the 34-yard line to Leicester. Van der Ven looking very confident in the backfield. One play action with a completion, and another one with a set drop back piece from the shotgun with a completion. And here he is under centre now on his first down. Tamworth now threatening blitz, but don't come as the ball hands off. And there it is, tackle in the backfield. Number 30 taken down for Leicester. That's running back Balogun with nowhere to go.
No, and Chris Harris, I believe, 82, was on the tackle, even though he's, 32 it would appear, my mistake. Our vantage point not great. It's Billy Elliott. Billy Elliott, shall I go with the fast feet? But nevertheless, Billy Elliott there blew the play up in the backfield, read that really well, and didn't give the halfback any opportunity to even get back to the line of scrimmage.
That's what this defense can do. So on first down, they read it well. They take that running back, blitz the gap, and get there before the running back really has a chance to do anything. Van der Ven now on second and long, as you can hear the Leicester sideline. Strong right now for this offense as they go with under centre and one back in the backfield. Twins to the bottom of the screen. Tamworth threatening blitz again, but this time they're looking to back off. Well, lots of disruption there, and it looks like it's going to be a delay of game penalty by the looks of things, as Leicester didn't have a chance to get the snap off.
No, I think they just managed to get a timeout called there before that flag that you were referring to for delay of game. So you don't want to be using the timeout this early on in the game, but you kind of expected. I've been quite impressed so far, Carl, the fact that we've had a year and a half out, that it has looked as organised, and the offence, you know as well as I do, in order to get 11 players on the same page, to get, whether it's a running play, a passing play, whatever, to get it working and get that machine clicking, it's no mean feat. And we've obviously seen the tackle for a loss from Elliott from the Phoenix defence, but equally I've been impressed with the way that the Falcons have come out and looked to be productive.
Yeah, neither of these teams, or any team in the country, has been able to play a pre-season game. So, because there just wasn't the chance, the opportunity in terms of time or the restrictions that the government issued for any team to play pre-season. So anything that they've had to do just offense versus defense in their own squads. And as you say, Matt, both teams coming out professional on this first series. And Van der Ven's, up until that play, anyway, run the ball, run the scrimmage and run the huddle really well. So this time, Leicester still second and long, about 16 yards. Same formation, Van der Ven under centre, one back in, and this time he will drop to pass. Here comes the pressure, and he goes long down the right-hand side, and just out of the reach of that receiver, number 11. But that looked like a nice ball. That was Jones, who didn't have the legs to get under it.
He had him, Cole. Jones had beaten his man, he'd gone down the sideline, he caught the DB in two minds, whether to follow his man, Jones, or whether to look back at the quarterback. And as you say, Van der Ven just a little bit too much on there, but he's got some power on that throw, because he didn't step into that, if you notice. That was all off his back foot, and managed to put that ball a good 30 yards downfield and just out of the outstretched hands of Jones.
So Van der Ven, a real surprise here, but he's got a challenge here against this strong Tamworth defence. It's third and long. He's got one running back in, and that is DJ, the running back, to his left-hand side. Shotgun now on this 3rd and 16. What will we see from Leicester? Steps back, looks to his left, and incomplete over the top. And it looked like it was good coverage anyway, Matt, on that one from Tamworth.
Coverage looked good, ball was a little high there. Even if the receiver had made the grab, it would have been a good 8 yards short of first down. But you've got to say that's a successful first outing for the Falcons offense. And Van der Ven does look accomplished, he looks calm in there. And you get the impression, if you think back to the throwback days of the Phoenix and their star quarterback, Pat Daly, and how he was able to use his legs as well as fire the ball to really anywhere on the field, it strikes me that Van der Ven has got those sort of dual threat abilities, because he does look like his feet are very, very good and could cause a problem for the Phoenix defence with him rushing the ball.
All right, it's punt time as Leicester line up. Let's see how they handle the punt this shortened off-season that they've had. Not much time to practice in terms of special teams. Let's see how both of these teams handle these key special teams plays, which are so critical and can change games and momentum. It's a decent snap. Can he get it off? And he does. It's a nice kick. Let's see where it bounces, just at the 32-yard line, and it will go out of bounds. So a decent start for Leicester, and Tamworth will start from their 32-yard line. So Leicester have come out to play. They're the Leicester side. If you look at it on paper, they're a Div 1 side. Tamworth are a Premiership side and should have enough quality to win this one out. But so far it's been competitive.
as we said in pre-game call, it'll be interesting to see how the Tamworth particularly alter their lineup if they end up going behind on the scoreline. We see Angus Cook, the familiar quarterback, tall, rangy quarterback, take the field for the Phoenix.
So it's Angus Cook and Elliot Walters in that backfield, and it's going to go to Walters as he tries to dance around that left-hand side, and he does. Tries to cut it back, but number 58 for the Leicester Falcons holds strong on that edge. Not much of a game for Elliot there, and he struggled actually to get around the initial man.
McCallum read the play really well for the Falcons there, the D lineman, and Elliot Daly deceptive. We know he's quick, we know he can get out of a jam, but he's deceptively strong as well. And McCallum there, who had the opportunity to bring him down in the backfield, ended up letting him slip away, but then the rest of the Falcons D plugged the gap.
So Tamworth now second and about 10. Not much picked up there as Cook looks for his vantage right inside. Good pressure coming off the edge from Rohi on the defensive line for the Leicester Falcons, and he had to rush that one.
He did, and on both those first two plays, from that right-hand side, the Falcons D-line have got pressure. If on first down Daly hadn't have got the ball, I think Cook would have found himself in a similar situation, but Cook did take a bit of a blindside hit there in the back, which will get him thinking. And you know, if a quarterback feels unsettled and isn't really sure that left tackle is going to protect his blindside, that can lead to bad decisions.
So Cook, 3rd and 10 on his first series for Tamworth, looks to see what he can do as he drops back, looks to his right, and he completes this one in traffic. Lots of Leicester Falcons players around as the player tries to dance away, and that was number 6, who is Adusi, Jeffrey Adusi Amber, with the reception for a pickup of only 3, and that will mean 4th down coming up, man.
You saw there, I think that 3rd down play is evidence there of the pressure Cook felt on downs 1 and 2. There was a nice little pocket for him, but he knew he'd got to get that ball out quickly. Didn't have time to let anything develop downfield, which he really needed on 3rd and 10, and got the ball into the hands of Ampong, hoping he could make something happen. But promising signs from that Falcons defense, Cole.
Yeah, Leicester with a great defensive series, and you can hear the cheers coming up from the Leicester sideline where our mic is based as Lenkowski comes out to punt this one on 4th down with that big boot that he's got, and it's a great kick as it drives that Leicester player back, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 8-yard line with no chance of a return. Again, Lenkowski's such a weapon on the field for Tamworth.
Absolutely, a game changer really. If you can change the field position just with one boot like that, and now all of a sudden from the Falcons feeling really buoyed about that first defensive series, they find themselves in a hole inside their own 10-yard line. Bit of a heavyweight contest this, body blows left and right on both first possessions. I think the Falcons will be slightly more pleased than the Phoenix were with that first offensive series. They managed to pick up a 1st down when realistically Cook and the Phoenix only managed 3 yards on their first 3 attempts.
Fascinating competition. It's so good to be back, isn't it? Chatting about American football. We'd love to hear from you guys if you were out there. Let us know how you're feeling about the return of Britball today. Lots of games to get to, and we will get to them, and we will be bringing you scores from around the country as Van der Ven then comes out in shotgun pistol formation with one back behind him, takes a high snap and hands it off. A clash between quarterback and running back. 35 trying to barrel his way through the center of that Tamworth line, and he will pick up a couple of yards there, and that was running back DJ.
Love it when you can hear the hits even from where we are here. DJ, after taking an initial hit from his own quarterback, managed to barrel towards 2 Phoenix defenders who once again took one shoulder each and managed to halt his progress. Pick up of 2 or 3 on the play there, Carl. 2nd and 7.
So Van der Ven this time under centre. Is really mixing it up between the shotgun and under centre. And we'll try and get more information on that as this game progresses. This time it will be a handoff again to DJ. Try it this time prying to the left-hand side. Tries to spin out of a tackle, but more Tamworth players arrive and bring him down for little or no gain on that one.
So they tried the right on 1st down, then they've run off to the left side, just off tackle on the left side on 2nd down. Didn't really pick up anything at all, so it's going to be 3rd and long. We'll see now whether Van Dieven does go to the air or whether he elects to back himself. But a big play coming up. And again, this is where that field position from Lendowski comes in so valuable, because even if the Falcons do go 3 and out here and have to punt, you'd like the Phoenix chances of picking that ball up around about halfway.
So we've got twins to the bottom of your screen, and there is a tight end in for Leicester. One back, and Van der Ven is under centre. So we'll see what he does. He is still just outside his own 10-yard line as Tamworth again threatening that middle blitz. It doesn't come, rolls out as Van der Ven. Good feet, escapes one man, escapes two. Now trying to get people downfield, but eventually has to just settle for the yard. But Van der Ven showing some quick feet there under good Tamworth pressure.
That could have been a disaster. He was very close to his own goal line there when he rolled out and was met face to face by a Phoenix defender, but like you say, Cole, good quick feet, bounced it back to the other side, managed to get past the line of scrimmage, but did lose a yard on the play. So it will be 4th down, and it'll be Burton punting for the Falcons from just about on his own goal line.
So another critical special teams play here. Let's see what Tamworth do here, whether they try and bring the pressure or whether they'd rather see if they can get a return from what should be around midfield. Burton's going to try and boot this as far as he can, you would expect. Needs to be a good snap. These are the sorts of plays that are so critical. You don't get so much time to practice these, especially with a shortened off season. Good snap. Burton with a right-footed boot, which does land just inside the Leicester 40. So Tamworth are going to have excellent field position, and that defence has done its job with a net gain of only just 4 yards for Leicester on that drive.
So this is where you think to yourself, if you know a lot or not a great deal about American football, you think about there are 3 distinct phases to a game. There's offense, the defense, and special teams. But that is a prime example there of how the special teams and the defense can work in conjunction with each other to actually help out the offense. Lewandowski's big boot on 4th down, pinning the Falcons back, and now, as we've just mentioned, defense hold the Falcons to 3 and out, and look now where the Phoenix are inside Leicester territory for the first time today.
So that decision to put the defence out first on the field is played off for Tamworth. They're now in their second series, will take over on the 36-yard line. Here's Cook in the backfield with Elliot Walters. Takes the snap, but has to pick it up, and Leicester are all over him. 3 men will bundle him to the ground. And those are the sorts of things that happen with a shortened off season.
First player there was Savage, D lineman for the Falcons there, but you could see Cook just looked away at the last minute, and the cadence not quite right there, so a worrying time. But to be fair, Cook managed to avert complete disaster, picked the ball up and did manage to just secure possession. But like you say, Cole, they're the sort of errors that you would expect to see from 2 rusty outfits. Not having experienced any football at all for nearly 2 years.
Twins to the bottom of the screen. Cook in shotgun, second and long. Walters in the backfield. Leicester now threatening the linebacker blitz, and here it comes. Angus steps back, lofts one over the middle, and that's so close to being complete. That's number 7 of the Tamworth team, and that is Noosa Fulford, who just couldn't bring that one in.
When we last covered the Phoenix, Carl, I remember Angus Cook showed real promise. He's got an arm, he's got good height on him, which gives him the advantage of being able to see over that offensive line. There was a lovely pocket formed again there, and he did have his man down the seam, Fulford, there. And from where we are sat, it almost looked like the ball was straight through Fulford's hands. So Cook trying to do his thing.
The Falcons threatening some blocks on this 3rd and long from the right-hand side now. Player doesn't come, Cook has time, swings it out to Elliott, just picks it up, but no, it hit the ground. Elliott tried to pick it up, and it looked like he did for a second, but obviously the ball hit the ground as his hands hit the ball.
Another 3 and out for this Phoenix offense. Unusual to say the least, but actually from a Falcons perspective, they will be really pleased with, number 1, the fact that on 2 drives now they've managed to actually hold the Phoenix offense, the usually high-powered Phoenix offense, to negative yardage. 4th and 15 coming up here, and obviously it's going to be punted Lewandowski. And will Lewandowski smash this one through the end zone, or will he look to go to that coffin corner? Tell us what coffin corner is, Cole.
He's got the skills to try and get that ball out of bounds without going into the end zone, has Lankowski. He's got a great boot, but he's also got a deft boot. Let's see where he puts it. Ooh. Flag on the play, and we'll see what happened on that one. Looks like either one of these teams, either Tamworth moved or Leicester have. It looks like it's going to be against Tamworth, which will actually give Lankowski a little bit more room. So I don't think they will be that fussed about this one.
Players full start. Offense number 12. Penalty, it remains no.
So we're getting an intermittent signal from the referee, but hopefully you picked that up. That is false start against Tamworth, and they will take the punt from bang on the 50-yard line, which gives Lenkowski a little bit more room to work with. There's the snap and there's the kick. Lenkowski with a nice placed ball to the right-hand side, and again it's almost a picture-perfect copy of his first punt as it goes out of bounds around about the 6-yard line.
Even from our angle, you can see the direction he put on that kick, and it was completely intentional. You don't want to give the returner any opportunity, and actually the way he directed it, didn't hang it up in the air. He just knew this ball's going out of bounds, and this ball's going out of bounds inside the 10, and I'm going to see whether or not the quarterback can get himself out of this hole, because he couldn't last time, and if that's the case, it puts our offense in a really good position again when we next take the field.
So Leicester again backed up against their own end zone. This last time out, they came out running the football on first and second down. They've actually got a little bit better field position as the ball is placed at the 10-yard line. Van der Ven so far showing himself to have some good skills in being able to avoid the pressure in the pocket, and also on those play action passes that he likes to run with the rollout. This time different back in the backfield. Van der Ven in shotgun, and Tamworth will see what he's got on this down. There's the snap. Van der Ven looks to his left, then goes back to his right, and Tamworth are equal to it. Dangerous to throw the ball in the backfield there as 21 is brought to the ground very quickly.
So yeah, a little bubble screen there to the receiver being Watts for the Falcons. You saw that Van der Ven looked to his right, trying to throw the defense lines and get them moving to their left, the Falcons' right. Then immediately came back as Watts came on that receiver screen. But again, the disciplined Phoenix, and that's one thing under Coach Scott that they've been whenever they've taken the field of the Phoenix. Discipline enables Watts to really get scragged before he's got any opportunity to turn upfield. It's a loss of a couple, which brings up second down.
Second down, more pressure now for these Leicester Falcons, backed up where they've been in the last two series. Twins to the top of your screen, twins to the bottom, one back as Van der Ven looks at the defense, takes the snap, looks to his right, and it's well overthrown this time with good coverage from the Tamworth Phoenix, even if it was caught.
Jones, the intended receiver on that one, and you feel that they're going to have to go vertical if they're going to get anything off this Phoenix defense. Phoenix defense so fast. They're from sideline to sideline. They cover so well individually and then as a unit. And ordinarily you'd see 3-4 players around the ball. That time the pass maybe sent high on purpose because the coverage was really tight.
Haven't been able to get this running game going yet, Leicester. And of course, if you're running those play actions and you're running the passing, it makes it a lot easier to defend if you don't have that running game. Third and long now. Van der Ven, one back in the backfield, pistol formation. He's got 4 receivers to go to. Let's see where he looks. This time he's looking over the middle. He's under good pressure. Again, shows quick feet and does get the ball downfield. Oh, and this one's up in the air. Could be anyone's. Picked by Tamworth as the helmet comes off. But the ball was anyone's. It's a lottery. And who comes up with it? Number 68 for Tamworth, who's Stephen Gregory, the defensive lineman. Well, there's a come up for the books.
I was marveling to begin with at, again, Van der Ven's not only feet and ability to roll out of trouble, but the way he kept his eyes downfield. He kept his eye downfield, rolled to his left, and for a right-handed quarterback to roll to your left and then throw back against the grain is always difficult. The throw looked like it was just a little high for the receiver. It bounced what appeared to be off a Tamworth helmet, bounced about 15 yards back towards Van der Ven, and it was then picked off by Gregory. And look, the Phoenix offense are in business.
Great reflexes from the defensive lineman Stephen Gregory, who's been in this game for many, many years. You might have seen the grey hairs as the helmet came off there. But nevertheless, a fantastic play. And it gives Angus Cook and Elliot Walters a chance here. They're going to go strong left with a tight end in motion to the right. And it is going to be an end around to that right-hand side. Number 85 picking his way through the Leicester Falcons defence. And that is a great pickup on first down, which will give them first and goal at the 3-yard line.
The Phoenix got some very famous players out there. We've already heard from Billy Elliott. Now we've heard from Sir Tom Moore. You know, they're getting them in from all over the country, and Tom Moore's looking very good there. Nice little jet sweep. That will go down as a completion for Cook because it wasn't a handoff; it was a forward pass, and even closer to the goal line now. So 3 yards from pay dirt for Cook and the Phoenix offense.
See what the Leicester Falcons defense can do backed up now in their own end zone. You can see what that field position is like as the ball is kept by Angus Cook, and he will find his way into the end zone for the Tamworth Touchdown! Angus Cook showing that he can run as well as pass and using Elliot Walters there as the decoy.
Well, there you go. All eyes are on Walters there. Cook with that read option play, put the ball into the breadbasket of Walters, read the defensive end on that right-hand side, saw that D end was going to be crashing down on Walters, and therefore elected to pull the ball, and there was daylight in front of him. Little scamper off to the left-hand side, 3-4 yards, touchdown Tamworth.
So Stephen Gregory will be very pleased that his interception has resulted in 6 points for the runner-up national champions Tamworth Phoenix, as Lenkowski comes on to try and get the extra point. And we have our first score of return to football in 2021.
You can, again, look at that Phoenix offense and say, yeah, they're always a high snap. Sorry, Carl. Lewandowski, I tell you what, Elliot Walters does a heck of a job there. Catches the high snap with one hand, gets it down in time. Lewandowski's already started his run-up, and he manages to just chip that ball through for the extras to put Tamworth 7-0 ahead. But as I was saying, the Phoenix offense, yes, punched that in from sort of 4 or 5 yards out, but you've got to realistically think about the contribution of Lewandowski. Those 2 punts pinning Falcons back twice. The Falcons not been able to escape their own 10-yard line. 1 punt putting the Phoenix on the 40. The second time, the interception, and really the contribution from Lewandowski in that special teams unit can't be underestimated.
We hadn't seen a lot from the Tamworth offense up until that point, had we, Matt? And they get the ball on the 6-yard line, they're able to punch it in with that end around, and then the option read play to Angus Cook, keeping the ball and bringing it in himself. So Leicester don't want to lose heart here. They've played well, they've had poor field position, and off that turnover, oftentimes when you're trying to make a play like that Van Doven turnover play, you know, weird things do happen, don't they? As the clock continues to tick away and those receivers are trying to find space, and that ball going up in the air like that just could have been anybody's. So Tamworth obviously taking the opportunities that they're given, but also showing their national championship credentials, playing well on all sides of the ball.
This gives Leicester an opportunity now to sort of reset. Hopefully they'll get the ball back at least the 20 as Lewandowski kicks deep again. And actually that's interesting. Now where's that going to be marked? Is that going to be marked a touchback? I don't think that's down on the half-yard line.
A safety. They're going to give it as a safety. The ball was caught and out the back of the end zone. So Leicester Falcons woes. It's number 11 that caught the ball there, and that's Jones, who's played well so far. He must be so disappointed because he actually made a good reception on the kick, tries to make the return. The referees are actually talking about it now. We'll see what the decision is, but initially the signal has been ball was caught, back of the end zone, safety. Let's see what the referee says here. Still discussing this one. Let's see if we got a good reception off that mic. Waiting with bated breath here to see what the referee decision is.
Well, there's a long conversation. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have that feed, but I think you're right. It was a case of Jones not necessarily knowing where he was on the field as he took that kick off, and then by the time he realised where he was too close, ran out of bounds. There they are.
They're giving it first down Leicester, so it's not going to be a safety. I guess that the initial signal looked to be safety, and you heard the cheers. Jason Scott's coming out now. Now he needs to watch that social distancing, Matt.
Absolutely does.
He's not wearing a mask, and he's very close to those referees, but we'll see how they manage this. Jason Scott obviously very passionate. We've got the fans signalling safety. Jason Scott saying, come on guys, it's clearly a safety. Not a happy man, Jason Scott. He wanted those additional 2 points. Such a competitive spirit, Jason.
Well, you see, Jason equally hasn't had the opportunity for a year and a half to actually berate officials and to stick up for his team. So he must have been practicing that. It must have been a tough time at home for his family, him practicing that at home. But yeah, joking aside, Jason's such a passionate man, so committed to all levels of football. The fact, like you say, that he's involved with the Phoenix, he's the University of Nottingham head coach, and now more recently been tasked with taking over the Great Britain programme at senior adult level. A fantastic, not only character, but a fantastic coach and a real asset to the British game. So
Leicester backed up now in their own end zone, Matt. This is going to be tough for Leicester to come out of here. What will they do? They will hand it off to big number 35, who tries to get up the middle, but there it is. That is going to be the safety, surely now for Tamworth. The signals are coming in, but I've seen nothing from the referees. Tamworth are celebrating. I'm waiting for the signal But I think that's going to be a safety, Matt. Let's see if that's confirmed.
I can't see any other outcome than a safety there, and obviously the defence leaving the field. And again, we mentioned it earlier, that defensive swarm mentality. So Jason didn't have to wait long for the safety. Yes, one extra play, but I suppose in a way it gives the defence a bit of credit to get the safety rather than it coming off the kickoff. But yeah, just that swarming Phoenix defence, they'll have been frustrated that kickoff wasn't given as a safety, and they took out their frustrations on that very first play.
Leicester will be so disappointed to give that away, given the opportunity they got to get it out of the end zone. They still succumb to the kind of swarming Tamworth defence. And of course, Jason Scott was going to send everyone, wasn't he? You saw how rambunctious he was on the sideline, really wanted those 2 points. So he went after it on the very next play and got it.
As well as bringing you coverage of American football, we'll also be opening our thesaurus on various occasions. And the word of the day is rambunctious.
Well, it's been a long off-season, Matt.
The difficulty again for for Leicester, and again, if you're new to the game, is you've conceded points there, but unfortunately, after you concede a safety, you kick the ball from a punt to free kick, as it were, but out of their hands, you kick it back to the Phoenix, and they will retain possession, and they'll go on offense. So from a promising first couple of drives for Leicester, they now find themselves in a 9-0 hole, and they give possession back to Cook and the offense.
So there's the free kick from Burton as Tamworth look to get under this, and they do pick it up at the 35, trying to find some space and pushing his way to the 50. Tamworth now swarming in and pushing that player all the way for another 6 yards, and they will get the ball within Falcons territory at the 39-yard line. So number 30 there with the reception does a great job in bringing it back.
Number 30, that's Will Hobbs. Mentioned him in pre-game, Will Hobbs, and that is the end of the first quarter. Will Hobbs started playing junior football under me at the Nottingham Caesars, and he's continued around the country and around Europe, in fact, and he's found his home back with the Phoenix.
So it's 9-0 here to Tamworth. And we're coming to the end of the first quarter here. Let's hear from our sponsors. Nuffield Health, one of our sponsors today, as we bring you quarter two action with Tamworth in Leicester Falcons territory. Number 25 picks up the ball this time and guns his way in the middle for a pickup of about 5 yards. That's a good start, the best run we've seen other than that end around from Tamworth.
Deji Ali there on the carry, straight up the middle. Again, Tamworth so far have come out passing really because they've been forced into second and long, third and long, and Coach Scott deciding we need to establish that run game at the start of the second quarter, and Ali picks up good 5 yards on first down.
Angus Cook, shotgun, second down. One receiver to the bottom of your screen, two to the top. One running back to his left as motion from number 6, and they will give the ball again on that end around, but the flags fly.
Yeah, trying to use a speed game from sideline to sideline and take advantage of what they deem to be a strong front up the middle for the Falcons, but not necessarily having the speed to cover sideline to sideline. Let's see what the flag is from our official as they continue to debate which way this one's going to go.
Trying to get the end around to Jeffrey Ampong there. The end around obviously worked well for the Tamworth on that first down from the 6-yard line, taking very close to the set it up the touchdown really for Angus Cook.
That's a false start or illegal formation, illegal procedure penalty. Regardless, there will be a 5-yarder against the Phoenix there, Carl. And that takes off the good work of that first down run by Deji Ali, but it will be 2nd and 10.
You would expect, wouldn't you, offensive mistakes coming in to this kind of a season. And when I say things like it was a shortened off-season, it actually wasn't a very long off-season. The only trouble was players couldn't get together to actually practice. So 2nd and 10 for the Tamworth Phoenix. Two receivers to the bottom, one to the top. Cook, shotgun again, takes the snap, looks to his right-hand side. Good coverage there from number 46 on the Leicester Falcons defence. That's linebacker Sidhu, who's played for a while for these Leicester Falcons, and a nice coverage.
Fulford, the intended receiver there, and you can see that Cook is still very anxious about trying to get that ball out quickly. Little kind of hook pattern there, just driving upfield, slamming his foot in the ground was Fulford trying to make the reception, and that ball just sailed a little bit on Cook, and Fulford wasn't able to pull it in.
No huddle for Tamworth as they come third down. Angus Cook calling the signals from his shotgun position, pointing out where that middle linebacker is. And here comes the blitz from Tamworth, picked up well. Cook now lofting the ball, and that's a dangerous pass, trying to get the ball to number 80, who is Finley Old, but couldn't get there. And that will be fourth down again for this Tamworth Phoenix.
Yeah, nice there, though. You mentioned about that middle linebacker blitzing, and Kane Dolby was the man who saw that, picked that up and gave Cook that time, but unfortunately he just couldn't complete the pass, and as you say again, fourth down.
So it'll be Lenkowski again, this time kicking from his 40-yard line. What can Leicester do against Lenkowski? I mean, there's nothing you can do if he's so perfect with getting the ball out within that 10-yard line. It's the 8-yard line, it's the 6-yard line. It's difficult to do anything other than put some pressure on him and hope you can maybe get him off his stride. This time he angles it to his left-hand side, and again it's going to bounce out of bounds right at the 14, so inside the 20. Lenkowski perfect so far.
No, you see, but you say perfect, Carl, but Lenkowski will be disappointed with that little pooch punt there, and when he's not got to power it, he can concentrate on his accuracy a little more, and he'd be looking to get that inside the 10-yard line. So really that's a little bit of a let-off for the Falcons, and even though it's not great field position, you can see where the chain crew are setting up there. It looks to be about the 14, 15-yard line, which gives the Falcons offense a little bit of breathing room to try and get this run game going.
So let's see what they can do with a little bit of space to work with. Van der Ven came out, didn't he, with that play action early, then the early pass. They've not been able really to get that running game going, and it's been difficult for the Leicester Falcons offense up for that first series to really find any traction. This time they have number 43 in the backfield, which is Hopkins, big running back, as Van der Ven looks to take this again from shotgun. Takes a look. Snap coming, pressure coming, and that is complete to number 21 on the sideline, looking for extra space, and he gets it. Dances for an additional 2 yards. That's a great little play from Watts, who's the wide receiver for the Falcons.
What set that play up there, Carl? A good, clean pocket. Van Dieven was able to stand there, survey the field, plant his feet, and actually fire a strike out there to Watts, who, like you say, then showed a few little Billy Elliott feet of his own to take on one defender and pick up that extra yardage. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from this quarterback so far.
Brings him out to the 25-yard line. Van der Ven now taking the snap with his right hand. Again to Watts. This time, same play it looks like. And again, Watts successful. So Tamworth playing off slightly, and Van der Ven just taking what the defense is giving him.
Leicester going to the no huddle as well to try and keep the Phoenix out of rhythm, because they've had 2 positive plays that have resulted in a first down. And again, Van Dieven, you saw on that last play, looked to the right, didn't like what he saw there, came back, had Watts on the outlet pass to the left, fired a bit of a sidearm strike into him, but it was successful enough, again, for the Falcons to pick up a first down.
Second a yard. Nearly went to empty set there, did Van der Ven, but calls the running back in, pistol formation behind him. Receivers 1 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Van der Ven this time looking to his right, drills it, and complete. Short yardage, but it is complete for the first down as Tamworth arrive en masse.
It's Jones again with the reception, and again, the Falcons offense getting into a little bit of rhythm now. This no-huddle approach, not giving the Phoenix time to make substitutions, and 3 strikes in succession now move the chains for the Falcons, and they could have something going, Cole.
Not relying on that running game. Van der Ven said, look, well, enough of that running game. We'll just see if we can do it on ourselves. I'm not handing the ball off to lose yardage again. Van der Ven's obviously experienced quarterback. We'll see if we can get more information on him as this progresses. 5 defensive linemen showing for Tamworth. They look to threaten to bring a 6th. The 7th creeps up. Here comes the blitz. Van der Ven running, trying to get free, and he does. Got good speed, and this time he's going to tuck the ball and run. Directing traffic, gets to the sideline, and a beautiful play. Van der Ven showing tremendous athletic ability at that quarterback position. A pickup of about 5 or 6.
I'll tell you what, Carl, as much as you can script plays, those off-script plays become so important when you've got a quarterback with the escapability that Van Dieven has shown on more than one occasion this afternoon already. You called it, the Phoenix bought the pressure, 6-7 men coming through. Van Dieven makes one man miss, sidesteps a second, then tucks the ball under his arm, takes off down that left sideline and picks up positive yardage. And that's something that the Phoenix defenders are now going to have to be aware of. He can beat with his arm, he's already shown he can be accurate through the air. The ground game isn't going in terms of his running backs. but he's got plenty in those legs to be effective if things don't go the way of the offensive coordinator.
It's the speed that will frighten this Tamworth defence as Van der Ven takes a snap, this time from the pocket he completes. A nice completion, the receiver, number 19, who is Anna Cunley, who we've called in previous games for Leicester. And that Leicester sideline, something to cheer about for them now as this ball continues to move down the field. Another first down, it looks like, and this time within Tamworth territory.
Well, they've got a rhythm going now. No incomplete passes on this drive. That important scramble from Van der Ven to keep the drive alive. A nice reception there from Anna Cunley. The pass was a little bit behind him there, but he managed to snag that, turn upfield, and pick up another first down. And it gives the Falcons offense some belief.
Right underneath our camera, we get a good look at this Falcons offense. Van der Ven looking poised and confident on this series. Has not had an incomplete pass this time. He's having to take to his feet again, and again he breaks the containment, and again he's down the sideline, hurdling players out of bounds. This Van der Ven is one to watch, and that's another first down for these Falcons as they get closer to that Tamworth red zone.
Stephen Gregory that time on the right end of the defensive line for the Phoenix just gets caught crashing down, doesn't hold that outside contain that you mentioned, and while ever you're going to crash down on that offensive line as a DN, then you're going to give a speedy quarterback like Van der Ven the opportunity to tuck it and run. Really got to be a bit more disciplined, those two DNs, and keep everything inside the tackles.
So another first down, this time at the 28. Can Tamworth find some way to stop Van der Ven as he drives down this field? Shotgun, looks to his left, pressure coming right up the middle. Again, Van der Ven dropping back, and it's incomplete, but he's still got the presence of mind to avoid that defender right in his face.
Pressure up the middle of that time, he does. He spins away, makes it effortless, and again, like we said on the interception play in the first quarter, even while he's escaping, his eyes are downfield. He's not worrying about those defenders coming at him. He's looking downfield, can I get this away? And then makes a really mature decision to actually throw the ball out of bounds. He knows he's escaped the tackle box, and a good sensible play again.
Second down, timeout Leicester. They want to have a think about how they ensure that they make the most of this great field position that they've got.
I'm afraid, Carl, I'm going to have to leave you because I'm going to jump over to the Wembley-Hertfordshire game. So I will catch you later on. Enjoy the rest of this one. It's I wish I could watch Van der Ven do what he does, but it should be a good one. Take care.
Thanks, Matt. And if you want to watch that game, you can watch it right here on Onside Productions, our 5th year of bringing you live American football. And today we're bringing you 2 live games. This feed from Coles Hill Football Club for the Tamworth Phoenix and Leicester Falcons, and also Hertfordshire Cheetahs. Matt will be covering a couple of those games, including a junior game and a senior game. So if you want to switch to that, check us out. Check out the Onside Productions YouTube channel, and you can watch that game live. Indeed, you can have both games live. What a thrill that would be to watch all this American football. We've had nothing for so long, and now we are inundated with games, which is good to see. All right, let's get back to this one as the Tamworth Phoenix come back out onto the field. Big number 9 there, looks ready to rumble and means business as he comes out. That's Ash Miller, the defensive tackle for the Tamworth Phoenix, a big presence in that defensive line. So Leicester Falcons now with their best field position of the day. Van der Ven, very impressive so far. He looks over the Tamworth defense from shotgun, and this time high snap, pressures there immediately, manages to get a beautiful ball out. Number 35 busts through a tackle and down the sideline. So Van der Ven making stuff happen with his hands that time, such quick reactions, and he does manage to get that to the running back, who is DJ. That's all we have for him. He looks a bit like Marcus, who we had from Leicester last time, and maybe that's how he wants to be called, I don't know, but it's DJ nonetheless. If you know more, do tweet in hashtag Tam versus Lei, L-E-I, as Leicester come up now at the 19-yard line, 3rd down, and about 2.5 to go. Van der Ven calling out signals. Tight end in at the left, receiver at the top, but this time he does hand off to DJ, and DJ will barrel through the center of that Tamworth Phoenix defensive line. The tackle is made, but it does look like DJ has enough for the first down. So a fascinating encounter. It's 9-0 to Tamworth, but Leicester driving, and this Vanderven has been a real revelation watching him drive down the field on this series. Let us know what you're making of the game so far. You can tweet us, and we hope to read some of those out as we move through this game. And it is 4th down, and Leicester have to convert here. So they're going to go for it. It's 4th and inches. DJ didn't get enough on that 3rd down play. Tamworth threatening blitz, and they will bring 6. But lots of time for Vanderven as he looks to the end zone, and that is caught. Check his feet, and that is a touchdown for Leicester Falcons. Impressive as Watts manages to bring his feet in the back of the end zone, and the Leicester Falcons have drawn closer to that score. So that's 6 on the board from Leicester. They'll be so happy with the way that Vanderven has played, and it took a lot for Watts to bring that in. Watts, a long time wide receiver with the Leicester Falcons, and he's an impressive one. So Burton looking to bring the Leicester Falcons within 2 points of Tamworth. Again, that safety from the bad field position is the only thing that will separate these two teams if Burton is able to convert on this extra point. And he does. So Burton is good from the extra point position, and we have a 9-7 game. This is great competitive football. I hope you guys are enjoying it at home as well as we kick off this 2021 season. Strange season, and yet here we are enjoying the competitive action from these two great sides. Leicester Falcons really putting up a good performance against this Tamworth Phoenix. We knew it would be competitive, but Vanderven has really made the difference in this one so far in terms of bringing Leicester back from a 9-0 deficit, bringing them a score, and that's made the score nice and close. You can tweet us at hashtag Tam versus Lei, L-E-I, and we'll be monitoring your tweets throughout the day. Let us know whether your team's playing this week. We'll be running through some of those other games that are coming up. This non-playoff season, and yet there'll be lots of teams playing for pride and lots of teams playing for bragging rights on this one. This division is part of what's called the Mercia division, and this is the opening game between the Leicester Falcons and the Tamworth Phoenix. Other teams that feature in this division are the Crewe Railroaders, Sandwell Steelers, Shropshire Revolution and Staffordshire Surge. So a real mix this year, a mixed bag of teams all being put together in geographical locations in order to give us some competitive football, and lots of teams seeing this as a development season. Burton will kick off after the Leicester score, and it's a nice kick which will drive the returner back to his own 2-yard line. Tries to get a return up the middle and does, bounces off a couple of tackles and is brought to rest at about the 23-yard line, which is where Tamworth will take over. I believe that's number 30 on the return, Will Hobbs, who doesn't know quite why he's been thrown to the ground. But it is going to be the Tamworth Phoenix coming out from their 23-yard line. They lead by 2. They struggled early offensively, but a turnover interception from defensive lineman Stephen Gregory, who had quick enough reactions to catch the ball, meant that Tamworth Phoenix good position from their 6-yard line and were able to set up Angus Cook for that 3-yard touchdown run that gave Tamworth their only touchdown of the game. Scoring on a safety as well makes the score 9-7. This time Leicester threatening blitz on this first down. It's going to be a direct snap to DJ Ali, who gets a decent pick up on first down. He will pick up 4 or 5. We have a Tamworth offensive lineman down on the field, number 51, I believe, but he's back on his feet, which is good to see. So Deji Ali opening the account. Tamworth will want to do something before the end of this first half. They'll want to put their mark on this game in this first half. They are the runner-ups from the National Championships back in 2019, and many of their players have returned, as have the Leicester Falcons. Second down and 4 now for Tamworth. The blitz is threatened but doesn't come. This time a handoff to Deji Ali again, and Tamworth trying to establish that running game. Picks up another 2 or 3 yards there, and that'll bring up a manageable third down for Angus Cook as he goes over to the sideline to pick up the play. Third down now for the Tamworth Phoenix at their own 37-yard line. They only need a yard and a half to convert on the first down. Let's see if they do go to that run again, and they will. Deji Ali this time, but this time Leicester blitz, and big 97 comes through that line. That's Anderson, the defensive lineman for Leicester Falcons, making a great play on third down, which will deny the Tamworth Phoenix the opportunity for the first down play, and Lenkowski will come out to kick the ball. Unlikely that they will go for a fake punt on this one, but we will see, as it is fourth down for the Tamworth Phoenix. Onside Productions showing you 2 live games this week. There's the snap, and it's gone over the head of Lenkowski. We talked about this earlier. Lenkowski does everything he can to get that ball out, and he does make a decent kick. Leicester pick it up, number 20, and that's going to be a net gain for Tamworth of about 10 yards after that one. And this is the thing that can happen when you have a truncated off-season, when you don't have enough time to prep. Sometimes these little mistakes can sneak in. So Leicester will be buoyed by that, as Matso Kateri, number 20, was smart enough to pick that one up and give a little bit of a return for these Leicester Falcons. So Lenkowski under pressure does what he can, but the Falcons are going to have good field position. So Lenkowski not able to give Tamworth the advantage that he's given them before, which is that great field position that Tamworth Phoenix enjoy whenever he's able to get a clean boot on that football. But with the poor snap, Leicester Falcons are going to be right back with that dangerous quarterback Van der Ven, who's made plays through the air and with his feet as he comes out adjusting his shirt. He's got DJ in the backfield. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 receiver to the top, and that big running back right next to him. This time he looks to his left, and he will put the ball left, but that is out of bounds, uncatchable ball. He was trying to get the ball to Anna Kunli, the wide receiver, down that left-hand side, but it was good coverage from Tamworth as they force him out of bounds with no opportunity to actually make the play. So here we are then, coming close to the end of the first half of this one, and it's been a really exciting one. Tamworth and Leicester, all sorts of action on the field. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's good to have you with us. It's good to be back, and it's good to have football back in this strange, shortened 8-game 2021 season with social distancing still in place, but we're able to put these games on thanks to the work of BAFA and all the teams around the country, as Van der Ven this time does complete to Watts, left-hand side. Defenders trying to make the tackle, and they do finally bring him down, but it took extra men. Watts a load to bring down, and a great wide receiver, and Van der Ven again is on the march. So not using that running game at all, Leicester have decided they're just going to go to the air. Where the Falcons, why not fly the football through the air? And they're doing that successfully in their last 2 series. Van der Ven looking increasingly dangerous, both with his feet and through the air, making receptions and avoiding the Tamworth Phoenix pressure so far. This time he goes to his right. Ball's thrown high and inside the receiver, and this time Jones not able to come down with the football on the slant. Third and short coming up now for this Leicester Falcons offense. Those of you that remember Leicester Falcons from 2019 season will know that Urbanski was their quarterback. He also wore shirt number 1 when he was playing quarterback for the Falcons. This time he's playing tight end. He is on the field, but this new quarterback that they brought in, the American Van der Ven, is doing a great job so far for these Leicester Falcons, and is an exciting player to watch as we move through this season. So a great close-up from our crew there as it brings up this crucial 3rd down. Can Leicester get the 1st down? Only a yard to go on 4th down, rather. Apologies. It is 4th down, the second 4th down that they've tried to convert. What can Van der Ven do here? Oh, and it looks like 83 moved. Cooper moved. We'll see. Cooper was playing tight end for the Leicester Falcons and did move, but we'll see whether the referees feel that Tamworth drew that player offside, or whether in fact that is going to be against the Leicester Falcons. Let's see what the referees say here. So they are going to give the false start against the Leicester Falcons, which will bring up 4th and 6. They're not taking the offense off the field, Leicester. Confident enough to keep Van der Ven on the field. 4th and 6 now. So Van der Ven stays on. Phoenix have brought pressure to this Tamworth Phoenix quarterback, but they've not yet been able to get the sack due to Van der Ven's quick feet, quick reflexes and quick actions, but they will bring the blitz again on this play by the looks of things. Lots of twitching going on that defensive line. And this time Van der Ven decides he's going to call a timeout and think about this one. Didn't like what he saw. As we say, Tamworth have been bringing pressure, and Van der Ven knows, even though he's got those athletic skills, he's got that great ability, he's got that great poise, he knows that there's only so much running you can do before finally these defenses will catch up with these quarterbacks. But so far he has had the better of this Tamworth defensive line. Do get in touch if you are watching. We are pleased to have you with us. It's Onside Productions bringing you this first game of this 2021 season. Lots of other games going on at the moment, and we will bring you some details about those games as well as we progress through this game. So Leicester making full use of this timeout that they've called to really get a sense of what they're going to do on this critical 4th down. Again, we're coming to the end of the first half here, and so Tamworth not able to move the ball, and it gives an opportunity for the Leicester Falcons to see whether they can pull those 2 points back, maybe get a field goal with Burton's leg, or maybe even get that touchdown if Van der Ven can convert on this 4th down. So critical play now. Leicester Falcons lining up at the 32-yard line, 4th and 6. Lots of noise from the Falcon sideline. Twins to the top, twins to the bottom, one back in, which is DJ, 5-man line. Shotgun for Van der Ven as he looks at that Tamworth defense. They look to bring 5. They will. Here comes the pressure. Van der Ven rolling to his right, takes a look back across his body, and it'll be incomplete. Difficult play there. Good pressure from Tamworth Phoenix. They're not getting to Van der Ven because he does have those quick feet, but they are putting him under enough pressure to avoid him making these completions. And that's Jones, who wasn't able to make that catch. Had an opportunity, it did hit his hands, but it would needed to be a great catch, and that will turn the ball over on downs. So Tamworth Phoenix now will start from their own 33-yard line. Other games that are going on today: London Blitz, Oxford Saints, the Bobcats against the Dreadnoughts, the Monarchs against the Raptors. A number of different games going on. We'll bring you some more of those in a second, and some scores if we can. As the Tamworth Phoenix now with Angus Cook handing off to Elliot Walters this time, and he will go down in the backfield. This Leicester Falcons defense have really come to play today. That is linebacker HUGH, who comes through and tackles Elliot Walters for a loss. And there's a couple of times that's happened. The Tamworth Phoenix offense, you feel, just not clicking on all cylinders. They've done well when they've been close to that goal line on those 2 plays, but other than that, they've not shown a great. As again, it's huge pressure, and number 58 comes through and picks up Elliot Walters. That's defensive lineman Carr, and this defensive lineman for the defensive line for the Leicester Falcons really having their way with the Tamworth Phoenix offense. Jason Scott will not be pleased at what he sees here. This is going to put Angus Cook in a hole. 3rd and long. A net loss on those plays of about 10 yards. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 20 from the Tamworth Phoenix 26-yard line. And not much time left, we would expect, in the second half here. So Tamworth really want to do something with this ball. They're holding on to that slim 2-point lead. Again, Leicester looking to sit back a bit more. They have 4 defensive linemen, maybe threatening a 5th linebacker to come, but he drops off. Angus Cook goes to his right-hand side, and that is intercepted by number 20, Matsa Katiri, who makes a nice return and is still holding the ball. Tamworth trying to rip it free. So a great play by Matsa Katiri on that one. He had the underneath on that receiver, and he's able to get his hands on the football before the receiver was even able to go for the ball himself. So Matsa Katiri making a great play for Leicester, gets the turnover. They're checking time. Vanderven will be excited to be able to hit the field again and show what he can do. Again, as this being live streamed, it's an opportunity for Vanderven to show what he can do in British American football. And so Leicester with a turnover. 1 interception each for these 2 well-matched teams, and we weren't expecting such a great competitive game from Leicester Falcons, but they've really come here to play. They are the underdogs. If you look at the schedule from 2019, they are the Div 1 team. Tamworth are the Premiership team, and yet these 2 teams evenly matched, and you might even make a case to say that the Leicester Falcons, in terms of their offense, have played better than the Tamworth Phoenix so far in this one. This time, Vanderven comes out with 5 receiver sets. So an empty backfield, 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Poor snap, but he picks it up. He looks to his left, lofts one, and that's over the head of Watts. So Vanderven now, they're just relying on Vanderven's feet and poise and ability in the pocket. He'll have no one there to pick up this Tamworth blitz. They're inside the Leicester Falcons half, inside the Tamworth Phoenix half of these Leicester Falcons. Let's see if they go with that empty backfield again, as Vanderven gets the play in from the sideline. What can Tamworth do against this threat of Vanderven? Empty set again. He's going to have 5 targets to potentially go to. 3-man line for the Tamworth Phoenix. They have everyone back to defend this, and they're going to send 3. Vanderven with plenty of time. He's going long to his right-hand side. Double coverage and nothing there. So Tamworth deciding not to bring the pressure, but just to sit back and defend. And it looks like that is going to be the end of the first half. And so we have a really good game here at Coles Hill Football Club between the Tamworth Phoenix and the Leicester Falcons. It is Tamworth 9, Leicester Falcons 7. It's been an exciting first half and lots to talk about in this one. One of the things to note as you see the Tamworth Phoenix gathering in there is the play of the Tamworth Phoenix offense has really suffered, I think, from a shortened off season and the lack of the ability for them to be able to get good practice time in, and often offenses suffer in that way. But Leicester Falcons have been impressive in terms of what they've brought. They've not been able to get that running game going really, but they have been able to show really good strength and poise with the play of their quarterback, Vanderven. So we're going to take a little break here on Onside Productions. It's been great to have you with us, and we will be back for the second half of this one here at Coles Hill Football Club. We'll speak to you soon.
Same intensity, right? Yeah? Don't let him go. We have 5 minutes. Boys, end zone, let's go on the hop. Let's go, let's go.
Welcome back to Coles Hill Football Club in Tamworth. It's been a turn up for the books, this one. It is Tamworth Phoenix 9, Leicester Falcons 7, and this has been a very close game as this inaugural game of the American football season 2021. An odd season. It is going to be 8 games for these teams, both Tamworth and for Leicester, and across the league we're in these strange geographical divisions. But it's been an exciting one to start the season, I have to say, between Tamworth and Leicester. You would look at it on paper and say that Tamworth had the advantage, wouldn't you? You'd say, yes, it's Tamworth Phoenix. They're the Premiership side. They're the ones that were at the National Championship game in 2019 against the London Warriors. But no, Leicester Falcons have come and they've used one of these quarterbacks that they found, Van der Ven, American quarterback. I think he's from previous, played in America, Missouri State, I think. We don't know a lot about him, but he's come on and he's making the difference in this one, and he's making some great plays. Tamworth Phoenix have not been able to get to him in the backfield, but they have put enough of the pressure on to ensure that he's been just kept to these 7 points. Tamworth Phoenix offense have suffered, let's be honest. Their defense has played well, but the Tamworth Phoenix offense don't look like themselves, maybe suffering from a lack of practice time. Angus Cook doing his best back there, but Elliot Walters has been suffering a number of tackles in his backfield, has not been able really to make a difference in this one just yet. But we'll see what Tamworth can do in this second half. They will want to come out and they will want to stamp their authority on this second half as the team that they are. So the scoring so far has been, we had a score from Tamworth first. Stephen Gregory with an interception of a Van der Ven pass that went awry, was bouncing around all over the field, finally went right up in the air. Stephen Gregory snagged it at the Leicester Falcons 6-yard line, and Angus Cook took it in from 3 yards out for the first touchdown. That gave the opening score for the Tamworth Phoenix. But then Leicester Falcons got rid of their running game, decided, no, we're just going to go to the air, we're just going to trust Van der Ven's arm. And they drove all the way down the field, Watts making a great reception from about 15 yards out from the arm of Van der Ven at the back of the end zone. Kept both feet in bounds, and that meant that the Leicester Falcons drew within 7. In between, we had a mistake from the receiver Jones And that meant that Tamworth Phoenix, Jones trying to catch the ball on a kick return, actually stepped through his own, gave the ball up on the 1 yard line, and that enabled the Tamworth Phoenix to actually get a safety on the very next play. So the defence for Tamworth scoring, and they have played well so far. But the difference for Leicester Falcons has been the play of Van der Ven. You have to say as well, the Leicester Falcons defence has played very well, and they've managed to hold this Tamworth offence just to 1 touchdown, which is no mean feat. So we're looking forward here to the second half. Just before we get to that second half, we are going to take a very short break, and we'll bring you straight back for the second half action. So we are ready for the second half. It was a great first half, competitive football, just as we would expect it to be between these two sides. Tamworth Phoenix have been dominant in the north, and you can see on the screen there that Tamworth run an under-16, a flag, and an under-19s team. So they are available. If you want to get into American football, you can contact them, and you live in the Tamworth area, then do get in contact with Tamworth. And obviously if you're in the Leicester area, you can get in touch with them as well. So Tamworth Phoenix have the lead, but not by much here at Coleshill Football Club. They'll want to have stamped their authority on the game a lot sooner than they they haven't really stamped their authority on the game as yet. We'll see what they can do in this second half. We look forward to seeing Van der Ven as well, and seeing what he can do in the second half. Towards the end of that first half, he's really become a real dominant player, and someone that Tamworth are finding it difficult to defend against. Even going to the empty set was Van der Ven. He's playing number 1, if you're just joining us, number 1 for the Leicester Falcons. The American quarterback that the Falcons have found this season, really making a difference here. It will be Tamworth that will receive the ball in the second half first. Remember that they won the toss in the first half and deferred, and so it will be Burton that will be kicking off to the kick returner here at the Tamworth Phoenix. So we'll see what happens in this one. And to be honest, you'd have to say at this point, it is anybody's game. If you want to get in touch with Onside Productions, you can. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and you can contact us via Twitter using the hashtag Tam versus Lay, L-E-I, Tam versus Lay. Onside Productions, their 5th year of broadcasting Britball, and we're very proud to bring it to you. Steve Matthews, our producer here today, doing a great job, and we are broadcasting simultaneously 2 live games to you. So if you want to watch the Hertfordshire Cheetahs and the Wembley Stallions, you can. That's available to you on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else that you can watch live streaming British American football as we get ready for this second half. So it will be Burton that's kicking off to Tamworth. Here we go then, the second half of this cracking game, as it's number 20 that picks it up, and he makes his way across the field, breaking tackles now as he gets to the halfway line, and it will be a saving tackle. I think that was Burton that had to track across and make the tackle himself off his own kick, and that was a great return to start this second half. And I think that was Johnny Weeks, number 20, that actually made that return. So Tamworth Phoenix are going to start with fantastic field position. Leicester Falcons just losing concentration there in terms of their coverage on the kick. So it will be first down from the Leicester Falcons 34-yard line for this Tamworth Phoenix offense. So here we go with the first play of the second half. Here come Tamworth onto the field. Elliot Walters to Angus Cook's right hand side, tight end to the right, twins to the top of the screen. Angus Cook takes a look at that Leicester Falcons defence, 4-man line. Linebacker stays back, no blitz. Cook has time, goes over the middle, and 2 defensive backs arrive. Number 6, Thompson for the Leicester Falcons, making a good play on that one. Just managed to disrupt the receiver's attention. 2 players converging. So nothing for this Tamworth Phoenix offense off that first down. Tamworth deciding to go to the air on first down, which is an interesting decision. Previously they've been playing it fairly safe, but Elliot Walters not been able to really make any ground in this game. This time he does hand off to Walters to the right hand side, and this time Walters does find a small gap, and he will exploit that if he's given a few inches. He will use those quick feet, so he does get around the right hand side, and he does manage to pick up a first down for this Tamworth Phoenix. So finally they get something going on the running game. So Tamworth Phoenix now making good use of that field position, and obviously Jason Scott had a word with them at half time and said, look, we've got to get this offense moving, and they do. A nice play from Elliot Walters. This time Elliot is to the right hand side. He gets the ball moving to his left, and Leicester Falcons player comes in over the top, number 46 linebacker. That's his 2nd tackle of the day, and that's Sidhu coming over to make the tackle on Elliot Walters and drag him down for a small gain. And that will bring up a 2nd and about 5 for this Tamworth Phoenix offense. Here we go then. Angus Cook in shotgun. Elliot Walters to his right hand side. Receivers to his top and bottom. 42 threatening blitz, but doesn't come. It's that end around play again, which they've had some success. They do break force, and this time the Leicester Falcons have to hustle, with Balogun having to come over and make the play. Sorry, it was Thompson actually that made the play on that one. 85 on the end around. That is Tom Moore, the wide receiver for Tamworth Phoenix. It was Tom Moore that set up the initial touchdown for Angus Cook on exactly the same play, that end around. And so Tamworth now threatening this goal line with the feet of Walters and Moore's end around play. And they are playing better on offense. This time it goes to Walters. Can he get round the edge? No. The Leicester Falcons are strong as that secondary force player comes up. And that's Matt Secretary, who's already had an interception in this game. He's having a great game, Matt Secretary, as he comes up from his cornerback position to play that secondary force. Elliot Walters beat that primary force linebacker player, but couldn't get around Matt Secretary, who turned the play back inside and made the tackle himself. So Angus Cook now on 2nd down from his own 15-yard line, from the Falcons' 15-yard line, trying to get the ball in. This time they will go, Cook will keep it himself on the triple option. So they don't go to the end around, they don't go to the run. They actually, Angus Cook keeps the ball himself, which he did on the touchdown, but he doesn't get many yards there. That's the Falcons defense doing a good job in the interior. It may have been that Angus Cook actually wanted to hand that ball off that time to Elliot Walters. Seemed to be some confusion on the handoff. And in the end, the net result is that it'll be 3rd and goal. So what can the Falcons do here? Angus Cook again in shotgun, steps back, throws to his right hand side, and this one, we'll see what the referee calls. He's gonna call it a reception, so a reception off the shoestrings there for number 6, who is Jeffrey Ampong, who makes the catch. But that will bring up 4th down for this Tamworth Phoenix side. 4th and goal. So 4th down for this Tamworth side, and they're going to trust in Lenkowski to come on and see if they can get the lead for them. So here comes Lenkowski on. This is to extend the Tamworth lead by 3, and he is good. So that is Lenkowski's boot that they've trusted. But there is another whistle coming in. There is a flag right over on the sideline, and they're going to call it, I think, encroachment on the defense, which Tamworth will probably not take. and they will let the 3 points stand. We'll see what the decision is, but you would expect Tamworth will take the points. It will depend on the yard marker actually, because they were at 4th down, and if they had less than 5 yards they might take the first. Now it does look like they're going to keep the points on the board. So the referee confirming through hand signals. We don't actually have the mic on him at the moment. We'll try and get that fixed as we go through this second half, but it was encroachment on Leicester, which is declined by the Tamworth Phoenix, and they will keep the points on the board. So the score now, Tamworth Phoenix 12, Leicester Falcons 7. So it was a nice kick return from the Tamworth Phoenix, and it meant that they had good field position, and this time they trust the arm of Angus Cook to take them down the field, and it means that they get the score. So looking forward to seeing what Van der Ven can do as we come back to the Leicester Falcons and see whether they can actually mount a drive of their own in this one. You can contact us on Twitter, you can contact us on Facebook, and we are available on YouTube as well. Thanks for your comments on Twitter from Chris H and Richard Chambers. Keep those comments coming in. This time Tamworth will kick off to Leicester. We are in Q3. It's hashtag Tam versus Lay if you want to get in touch, as Linkowski with that big boot drops it right over the head of the returning player, number 31. Hammett couldn't do anything with that, and that will roll into the end zone for a touchback. So Leicester Falcons will come out with that exciting, we think he's a Missouri State quarterback that the Leicester Falcons have brought over to play for this season. He's been an exciting prospect so far in this one, and we look to see what Van der Ven can do as Leicester get the ball for the first time in this second half. We will bring you scores from around the league once those other games kick off. Remember, we are broad streaming 2 live games to you at the moment on Onside Productions, and we're proud to be able to bring you these games. And it's good to be able to speak to you and bring these games live to you as the Leicester Falcons come out for their first possession of this second half. Van der Ven now wearing that shirt, number 1. He's been an exciting player so far, with 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top, takes the snap, looks to his left, and he will go to his left, and that is very close to being picked off. And that is number 8 for the Tamworth Phoenix, who does a fantastic job, does Dan Shodipo, and he's been around with the Leicester Falcons players for a number of years. Remember calling his name in various games against the London Blitz, against the London Warriors, and one of their great players. And he seems to have moved position actually from the lineman position where he normally plays to linebacker. You don't normally see him in pass coverage, but there he was, making a great play, got a good jump on the ball. This time he's sneaking up to the line of scrimmage, threatening blitz. Van der Ven has a look. What can Van der Ven do on 2nd and 10? Tamworth don't come with the blitz. This time it's a handoff to DJ, and he goes absolutely nowhere. And that's been the story of this Leicester Falcons running game so far. They haven't been able to get DJ going. We've got a sneaking suspicion here that it may be Marcus that's wearing that number 35 shirt, wore number 3 last season. Marcus Francis, but all we know is he is the mysterious DJ for this. Listed as the mysterious DJ on the Leicester Falcons roster for this season, but he certainly looks to be the same build and shape as Marcus Phoenix that we've enjoyed watching over the season here. Maybe we'll find out more as these games progress through this truncated 2021 season. So Van der Ven now, 3rd down and 10. 3rd down and long actually after that loss. Looks like DJ moves slightly, but the referees are going to let the play continue. So Van der Ven takes the snap, looks to his right and completes, and it's a nice completion, but an even better tackle. It was Jones that made the play, and it was the sure tackle of Cassian Graham, who made the tackle and came in to deny any more yards for Jones. So these Leicester Falcons continue to make plays through the air with Van der Ven, but not enough to get another series of downs. So it's going to be a punt, and we expect Danny Burton will come on. Falcons have been pretty solid in terms of their punting so far. Tamworth Phoenix have had a couple of issues come up, including a very poor snap that Lenkowski had to deal with on the punt, but the Falcons have been fairly solid with Danny Burton. And of course, what happens when you have less time to practice is it is things like punts, punt coverage, kickoffs, kick returns that suffer because you have less time. Good snap. Danny Burton with the right-handed boot, and it's a nice kick and a nice reception as he drops to a knee. The ball doesn't roll, and that's number 30 on the catch, and that is Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs taking the ball solidly there. Will Hobbs, who's played his junior football with the Nottingham Caesars and has played in Europe and has played for many teams, but he's returning this season for the Tamworth Phoenix, which is good to see as we keep his skills within the Britball League. So here come Tamworth Phoenix now with pretty decent field position. They're on their 35-yard line. They'll be driving, and they still have that lead. Lenkowski with the boot, which gave him the 3 points to take him to a 12-9 lead, a safety and a touchdown. Tamworth offense struggled to get that running game going, but did manage to get it going slightly in at the beginning of their first series. This time they try again with Elliot Walters, who's going to pick up a couple of yards. But the Leicester Falcons again, with Cantrill coming in and making the tackle that time, are equal to Elliot. Don't give him much to work with there, and it will be second down. Tamworth with this familiar now no huddle offense as they just keep that defense under pressure. Twins to the bottom of your screen now, single receiver and a tight end at the top of your screen. Just Elliot Walters in the backfield. Cook in shotgun. Here's that familiar motion. Will they give the end around? They do. This time it's right-hand side. Looks to get the edge, but 92 comes over and pursues. That's Cantrill making 2 plays in a row, and he's got a bit of a swagger on as he goes back to the huddle. Made a nice play that time and had pace that was equal to Tom Moore. Tom Moore couldn't find the edge. Maybe one too many times that Tamworth are going to the well on that end around play. Leicester Falcons defense seemed pretty equal to it. So it's going to bring up third down. Again, the running game struggling at Tamworth. Elliot Walters not able to make any yards. And the end around not working that time for Tamworth. Can Angus Cook find his arm on this third down play? Twins to the top of your screen, single receiver to the bottom. Cook, shotgun, motion again. This time it won't be an end around. Trips, top. Will the Falcons adjust? They come with the blitz over the top, and that is a missed opportunity for Cooper. Sorry, not for Cooper. It's actually number 83 of the Tamworth Phoenix. We'll get you a name in a second, but it hit his hands and he wasn't able to drag it in. So that is a missed opportunity there for Tamworth. No number 83 listed on their roster. So, nevertheless, it's an incomplete pass, and that will bring up fourth down for the Tamworth Phoenix.
Offense number 6. Player returns to midfield before the ball was snapped. The penalty has declined. The result of the play, fourth down.
So we have the referee's mic, and you can hear him there say that it was illegal motion of that player in motion number 6. But Leicester Falcons have declined as it was incomplete, which will bring up fourth down for Tamworth. So Tamworth still struggling on this offense. Mistakes, penalties, errors, and not able to complete passes. Elliot Walters also not been able to make his mark on this one as we would expect him to. And again, it's worth pointing out it's been a truncated off-season. They haven't had a lot of chance to practice. It's the offences that tend to suffer from the lack of practice. Defences can come in on the field and make a difference quickly. But you have to say Leicester have been impressive as Lenkowski boots this one downfield. And this one will just go out of bounds at the 37, 38, 39-yard line, the referee finally decides. So not the best boot from Lenkowski. We've seen him do better. So Tamworth, after that opening field goal, not able to make anything of their second possession in this second half. And we'll see what Leicester can do as they take the ball. So far, the only score we've seen in the second half is Tamworth. They hold this slim 5-0 lead, but Vanderman will look at that and think, well, here's my opportunity to get onto the field and show what I can do in British American football. He's been impressive so far. He's played with poise, he's played calmly, and he's obviously got a great deal of experience. So, 2 running backs in the backfield now as the Leicester Falcons switch from a spread offense to I formation to get that running game going. Motion as well. They hand around on the end around, but it looks like Tamworth are going to be equal to it. And number 11 does a great job, actually, and that's Jones. Does a great job of managing to keep his feet, and a little bit of afters there on the sideline between Tamworth and Leicester. It's worth noting that this team do have a rivalry. They played in the same division a couple of seasons ago, and so they know each other well, and there has been also some politics off the field. Tamworth writing that infamous letter which accused the Leicester Falcons of paying players, and so there has been some words spoken between these two teams. Second down, Vanderven completes his time to Watts. Watts, such a danger, just runs a quick hook and picks up about 6. So after the loss of 1 on first down, they're going to go with a 3rd and 5, and Vanderven again making a difference. So what can Leicester do on this 3rd down? Crucial play for them if they want to draw closer to taking the lead in this one. They need to convert on these crucial 3rd downs. Vanderven so far has shown a lot of confidence and poise in these situations, but can he get the play in time? Tamworth with 5 on the line, and they will bring 4. Vanderven having to use his feet again, and this time just hurls this one out of bounds, does the smart thing. Tamworth able to get pressure on Vanderven, but so far not able to sack him. Nevertheless, the pressure is making a difference. It's making it difficult for Vanderven to find these receivers. 4th down again for this Leicester Falcons side as we draw closer to the end of the 3rd quarter. After this game, the Leicester Falcons will go on to play the Shropshire Revolution in week 2. And Tamworth will also go on to play their week 2 game as this punt now. Let's see what Danny Burton can do. Decent snap. Burton with a high punt this time, and it will land inside the 20, and it will go all the way down close to the 10-yard line. So a nice effective punt from Danny Burton, which is going to get a round of applause from the Leicester Falcons sideline as the Tamworth Phoenix come in with their worst field position so far. Onside Productions bringing you 2 games today. Hertfordshire Cheetahs are also playing in our other game, which you can catch just at half-time currently, but we'll soon be bringing you the action back in that one. But we'll be staying right here for Tamworth versus Leicester, as Tamworth now with twin receivers at the bottom, Angus Cook and Deji Ali in the backfield. Leicester Falcons have played excellent defence so far. Cook with the handoff to Ali, and there is Cantrell again. Cantrell with the tackle on the edge, unblocked, and they haven't been able to handle Cantrell. Have Tamworth, haven't been able to get him blocked, and he's made some great plays and great tackles in this 3rd quarter. And Tamworth don't look like the team they were in 2019 in relation to their running game. Not able to get things moving. And you can't take anything away from the Leicester Falcons defence either. They've played well. Again, Angus Cook in shotgun. What can he do here? 2nd down, backed up at his own 12-yard line. Falcons threaten blitz, and they will. This time the handoff is to Deji Ali, who breaks the first tackle. And it's number 31, Hammett, who has to come up from his defensive back position to lay the hammer on Deji Ali, but that's better for Tamworth, finding a little bit of space up the middle, and that will give them a manageable third down. So here we go, both teams struggling to convert on third down and keep these drives going. This time Leicester threatening all sorts of action. They do not bring anyone, and that is almost caught. Number 85 there. Again, we've had a few of these where they just can't bring these plays in. That is Tom Moore that they're trying to get the play to, who's been having a lot of action on those end arounds, but he's not able to haul this one in. Again, you can't blame Angus Cook for that. The ball hit his hands, but maybe it's just these slightly rusty receivers who haven't been able to make some of these receptions. Leicester Falcons have looked pretty good through the air and have made some decent receptions.
Number 99, 5-yard penalty. The yardage results in a first down.
So it was Wohi that was offside for the Leicester Falcons. It was a free play to...
Also, time expired during the down. That is the end of the quarter.
So we come to the end of Q3, and the score is Tamworth 12 and Leicester Falcons 7. Fascinating encounter, this one. Just those 3 points then for Tamworth Phoenix in that Q3. And you just feel like it is, again, anyone's game. And the reason we say that is because Van der Ven is able to turn on those pass plays seemingly at will. Certainly towards the end of the second half, he was playing really well. He seems to have gone off the ball slightly, and Tamworth continues to bring the pressure, which puts him under difficulties. But it's going to be a fascinating Q4 with everything to play for. Coming into this one, you may have expected that the Leicester Falcons would have been the underdogs, but they've played great football both on defence and offence, and Tamworth only have this 5-point lead. Nevertheless, it is a lead as they hand off to Deji Ali, who tries to get up the middle, and he does. That's a good run from Deji Ali. Tough yards against that Falcons defence, but he will pick up 4, which will give Angus Cook a more manageable 2nd and 6. So trying to get this interior running game going on now, this Phoenix team, as they begin their drive for Q4. And again, it's Deji Ali, the bigger running back. And again, Leicester Falcons struggling to get him down, but they do finally. He picks up another 2-3 yards, keeps the ball moving. And the Phoenix will be happier with that performance from Deji Ali, because they haven't had the running game really going up to this point, but if they can get it going, it opens up the opportunities for Angus Cook on play action. So Angus Cook now on third down. Twins to the bottom of your screen, one receiver at the top. Deji Ali in the backfield pointing out where the play may happen, and it's Cook looking to the backfield, lofts one up, and again you have to say it's a poor pass from Cook. Some pressure coming from the Leicester Falcons, but 29, who is defensive back Kiffin, was in good position to make that play. In the end, Angus Cook overthrew everyone. Both teams have struggled on third down to convert. Both defenses have been great on third down in this one, and it's going to be Lenkowski who comes on to boot this one away to Leicester. Let us know what you think of the game. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we are on Twitter. Hashtag Tam versus Lay. Low snap, but Lenkowski fields it, and it's a good kick into space. And that will go out of bounds at around the 35-yard line, which is where the Falcons will take over. And we'll see, as time begins to tick on Van der Ven, whether he can find the form that he had towards the end of the second half. Both teams have struggled to get the running games going. The only score touchdown-wise from Tamworth came from a turnover. but they have managed to get that safety, and then with that good field position at the beginning of the second half that they got off the kick return, they were able to convert that to 3 points. But it's Leicester that have been more impressive on those long offensive drives. Tamworth just taking advantage of the opportunities that their defence and their special teams have been able to give them. So let's see what Van der Ven can do as top of the screen trips receivers, single receiver to this field side. And again, Tamworth making the most out of the delays that Van der Ven experiences in terms of this new offense to him. Looks to the trip side and does complete. And again, this is Watts, and he will pick up a first down. So a nice play as Leicester Falcons open their account on this drive. And Watts has been the go-to receiver for this Leicester Falcons team. He's the one with the touchdown, the only score that Leicester have so far. And he looked good on that play as he runs that hook and just again manages to elude that first tackler and pick up those additional yards. Van der Ven, shotgun, first down, takes the snap. Here comes the pressure again. He has to scramble to his right-hand side and drills this one to the sideline, and it's dropped. Jones, again, not able to hold on to that one. There's been a couple of plays where Jones will be disappointed. Look, he's shaking his head as he goes back to that huddle. He knows that those balls have hit his hands and he could have had additional yards. Nevertheless, it is 2nd and 10. Van der Ven accurate with those throws. Even when rolling out, he's able to have those great mechanics that many American quarterbacks do to be able to get the ball accurately to his receivers. Let's see what he can do now on 2nd and 10. One running back in, but you feel it will be a pass, and it is. Here comes the pressure. Van der Ven stepping up and off his back foot launches one deep, and it's in and out of the hands of Watts. He will be disappointed with that. What a great throw from Van der Ven. Bang on the money. Some pressure from number 36, and there are flags down. So we will see what those flags are. It was Anthony Norton of the Tamworth Phoenix that was in on the coverage, and I think that's going to be defensive pass interference against number 36 of Tamworth, Norton, as we hear from
pass
the ref.
Interference, defence number 36. 15-yard penalty from the previous. Automatic first down.
So Anthony Norton with the mistake on the defence of Watts, but you have to say it was an amazing pass from Van der Ven off his back foot to get that ball in a position where Watts had a chance to make the catch, and you felt like if Norton hadn't had that pass interference, it potentially would have been a touchdown, as Watts was in a good position to drive and get even more yards. So it will be a 15-yard penalty. Van der Ven really showing some skills here. Leicester Falcons over the years have imported a number of American quarterbacks, controversially, some of them, but nevertheless always entertaining. And Van der Ven putting up a show for us here today. So can Leicester get that elusive score? Remember, they're only 5 points down in this one. Tamworth 12, Leicester 7. Van der Ven now, 2 receivers to the top, 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 back in. First down. And again, calling out signals as Tamworth applaud the delay. And a great little strategy to try and put that offense off. This time Van der Ven looks to his left. And will they get to him? No, they won't. The blocks come in late. Van der Ven directing traffic deep. And it's incomplete. But again, Van der Ven with the feet. It's a great play at the end of the day by Johnny Weeks, the defensive back. So tricky because it looked like Van der Ven was going to be sacked, but he escapes out to his right-hand side. And Weeks had the sense to be able to stay with the receivers, which is a difficult thing to do for defensive backs, to ensure that that play was not complete. So Tamworth, nice and disciplined with their defensive backs to prevent Van der Ven from completing that pass. So Tamworth now at the 40, just the 39-yard line. It will be 2nd and 10. after that pass interference penalty and the incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 for Van der Ven. 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen, 2 to the top, 1 back in, but they will stay in the air as Van der Ven now looks to his right and complete. And it is Jones that will bring that one in, and he'll be happy that he's got the reception on that one. And maybe that will assist. Shaking his head slightly, comes up a little bit banged up, but does go back to the huddle. And that'll pick up 5 for the Leicester Falcons, and it will bring up, well, 4 rather, and it will bring up 3rd and 6. 3 defenders coming to converge on Jones to bring him down. But Van der Ven giving what the defense gave him, taking what the defense gave him on that play. 3rd and 6 for the Leicester Falcons as we hit midway through this 4th quarter, trailing by 5, but have been able to move the ball. Again, Van der Ven taking all of the clock, steps back, lofts one over, and that's almost intercepted by Weeks, number 20 there for the Tamworth Phoenix, making a couple of great plays, knocked the ball out. He'll be disappointed that he didn't manage to pick that one off. Jones again was the intended receiver for Van der Ven. That time the protection was really excellent from the Leicester Falcons offensive line, but Van der Ven inaccurate and didn't see Weeks back there waiting for the pick. Tamworth will be disappointed they didn't get that one. So Jason Scott, you can see right at the top of your screen, sending in the signals to this Tamworth Phoenix defense on how to handle Van der Ven. 4th down. Leicester Falcons stay on the field. Whistle blows. Van der Ven has been taking his time, and this time they're going to call a timeout and talk about what they want to do. So it's very much
timeout called. First charged timeout of the half. 9 minutes 07. 9:07.
So 9:07 left in this one. Thank you, Mr. Referee. And Leicester Falcons take a timeout to talk about this 4th down play. Still time with just a 5-point score differential between these 2 teams. Tamworth, the runner-up national champions, lost that key game to the London Warriors back in 2019, which was the last competitive action we had in British American football up to this point. And it's good to be back. And it's good to see both of these teams out there fielding competitive units. 5th year of Brit Balling from Onside Productions, and we're proud to bring you this game. And there are 2 games going on that we are broadcasting live. You'll be able to catch the Hertfordshire Cheetahs Charity Day today, playing the junior and senior sides will be out in force, and you can catch that on YouTube on the Onside Productions channel. But we are going to stay with this one in this critical 4th down. Van der Ven, who's been so impressive today, but can he convert this one? Twins to the bottom, twin receivers to the top, 1 back in. Tamworth moving players around, they will bring 6. Van der Ven goes, and again it's incomplete. It wouldn't have been enough for the 1st down. Jones not able to hold on to the ball, and Cassian Graham in a great position to be able to make the tackle should Jones have been able to catch that. He'll be disappointed again. They keep targeting Jones, and he's not been able to bring as many balls down as he would have liked. So the ball will be turned over on downs to the Tamworth Phoenix. Angus Cook, Deji Ali, Elliot Walters, and that receiving core not been able to get their offense going as well as they would have liked. But what they have done is take advantage of the opportunities that have been given them in this game. A good kick return at the beginning of the 2nd half gave them the opportunity to kick the field goal from Lenkowski. The interception from Stephen Gregory set up the touchdown from Angus Cook, and the mistake from Jones, which gave the ball away at the Leicester Falcons 1-yard line, allowed the defence to pick up the safety for Tamworth. So the Phoenix with the 5-point lead, with about 8 minutes left, I would imagine, in this one. What can they do on this drive? Trying to run out the clock as they give it to Deji. This time he does have space and he knifes his way through the middle, and that's a good pickup of about 12 for the first down. So far, these running backs have just not had the daylight that they would normally be given as a result of the good play of the Leicester Falcons defensive line. But this time, Deji finding some space and exploiting those gaps. First down, Tamworth, as they edge their way into Leicester Falcons territory. Motion this time from number 13. They've already had a penalty against them, but this time 13 does fake the end around, and it's Deji again, nothing doing up the middle that time for Deji, and that's number 38 coming up from his defensive back position to make that play. Sorry, that's linebacker Richards, number 38, coming in to make that play. Jason Scott coming onto the sideline again. We do need to watch these social distancing penalties. The referees haven't called it, but it's interesting to note as Jason Scott speaks to these referees that there is as part of the change of the COVID rules, there is an unsportsmanlike act penalty. And there's a couple of different points in this. One is intentionally breaching social distancing guidelines, and the other one is speaking to an opponent or an official without wearing a face covering or social distancing. And that applies to coaches. Jason Scott pushing the boundaries of that rule, but in the end, no flag for that. But there is a flag on the field, and the referees are discussing it right now. Tamworth Phoenix looking to put this game away, but been frustrated on third down, unable to convert. And we'll see what this penalty is.
There is no foul on the play for an illegal formation. There were only 4 players in the backfield. Second down. Oh, excuse me, it'll be.
So there's no flag on the play. They were thinking about calling it illegal formation, but having discussed it, they picked the flag up. And those motions from Tamworth Phoenix have caused them some issues. They've already had one penalty for a player turning upfield. But currently, they have got away with that, or it was no flag at all. So it will be 2nd and 10 for Tamworth Phoenix inside Leicester Falcons territory again, after no gain on that first down play. Twins to the top of your screen, single receiver to the bottom, running back in the backfield as Angus Cook works from shotgun, hands off to Deji, who again cuts inside, and that's another great play from this Leicester Falcons defense. That's Sidhu, who we called a number of times, just sitting big in the hole and not giving Deji anywhere to go. He has to cut back inside to where the strength of that defense is, and he's dropped for a loss of a yard. So it will bring up 3rd and long for Tamworth. They've struggled in third down situations of Tamworth throughout the whole game. This time they have a tight end in to the bottom of your screen, single receiver, bottom, 2 receivers at the top. Trying to draw Leicester Falcons offside is Angus Cook, but no doing, and it looks like, well, let's see whether he comes up. Jason Scott says no, run the play, so they will. Leicester Falcons don't budge. Cook has to take the snap. He does, and lofts one deep, and the man is open, but just couldn't get under it, and he can't believe it as he holds his head to his hands and wishes he had that one back to make the adjustment. That's Jeffrey Ampong, who was not able to bring that one in. So Angus Cook just slightly overthrowing his player there. It will bring up 4th and 11, and Tamworth again struggling on third down. And you have to be honest and say they have struggled on offense. Their defense has kept them in this one. It's been turnovers, it's been kick returns, and it's been taking advantage of opportunities when they've got them. but they have not been able to really get that offense going for any concerted amount of time. So Lenkowski has always had one poor snap that he had to deal with, and this is a low snap. Lenkowski gets it away, and it's going to be waved away as Lenkowski, well, it is picked up by a Leicester player with all sorts of Tamworth players around him, so a dangerous pickup, but nevertheless he does secure the ball. That is defensive back Hammett that manages just to stop the progress of that football, but it will be poor field position for the Leicester Falcons, as they will have the ball starting around their own 7-yard line. Tamworth have already taken advantage of Lenkowski's boot, putting this Leicester Falcons team close to their own goal line with one safety. Wonder if Jason Scott will bring pressure here, and we'll see what Van der Ven does here, whether he gives himself that permission to throw from what is a potentially dangerous position. But the clock is running. It is Q4. And they will want to have a go at winning this one, will Leicester. So they will go with an empty backfield. So trips to the bottom of your screen. Well, actually, no, there is a running back in. So it'll be twins to top, twins to the bottom. One running back to Van der Ven's right-hand side as he takes his snap and looks to throw. He's under all sorts of pressure as he goes to Jones, and Jones will not make the reception again. And it's not for want of trying. How many times have they gone to Jones, and how many times has it come through his hands? Again, good defensive back play from the Tamworth Phoenix as the referee tries to escort Jones away from the Tamworth Phoenix defenders. It was number 30 and number 12 who were defending that play. So it was Will Hobbs again and Junior Shodipo who were there as defenders for Tamworth. And so another incomplete pass. Van der Ven, 2nd and 10 from his 7-yard line. Incomplete on first down. Low snap. Picks the ball up. Looks to his right. Here comes the pressure. Dangerous for Van der Ven. And he will just sling it short, trying to get to Watts, but not enough power on that one, even for Van der Ven to get off his back foot. Tamworth again not been able to sack Van der Ven, but have done enough to keep him off balance and have made it difficult for him to make these receptions. So this great Tamworth Phoenix defense have really kept at this American quarterback just to the one score and have done well, as it brings up 3rd and 10. 6 men potentially could blitz on this one from Tamworth. Van der Ven is calling out the signals, telling them what he wants in terms of protection. Shotgun again, low snap again. Van der Ven, good clean pocket this time. Looks around, nothing open. Goes to Watts, and it's caught. Lovely footwork from Watts. Actually, they're saying it's out of bounds now. Out of bounds. So it looked initially, we had a good shot at it. Looked initially like Watts had got his feet in bounds, but the referees say no. And so it's incomplete. Bring up 4th down for this Leicester Falcons team. And I think it wasn't his feet that let him down, was Watts. It may have been that he couldn't hold on to the football on the sideline. So lots of incomplete passes, but you have to say Van der Ven, the quarterback, and Angus Cook, both accurate with some of these passes, these receivers just not been able to bring these balls in, as Danny Burton with the big boot, and this is cleanly taken by Will Hobbs, who stumbles forward for an additional yard. Both number 30s meeting on the field there, and that is Will Hobbs and Balogun meeting, both wearing number 30, and that will be where the Tamworth Phoenix take the ball over. So they will have a decent field position as they will be well inside the Leicester Falcons half. Danny Burton obviously having to punt from his own end zone, which is always difficult to do, but Will Hobbs makes sure that the ball doesn't bounce any further than that 31-yard line, which is where Tamworth Phoenix will take over. Their offense hasn't been hugely effective, but so far they've got what they need to do done. They scored when they had the opportunity, and they've only had that one turnover, that interception. Motion, number 13. Falcons show blitz, but they bring 5. Angus Cook under pressure, lofts one, and again 2 receivers running downfield in that kind of direction. He was trying to get to number 13, which he was not able to do, and that was Chris Wedderburn, who he was trying to run under the ball. But again, pressure enough from the Falcons to make Angus Cook have to throw that ball early, and it's incomplete. Second down, this time Elliot Walters, hands off, and again there's men in the backfield, and again it's 38 with the initial pressure, and then 81 and 58 coming in from this Leicester Falcons team. Elliot Walters is saying, come on ref, he had his hand on my helmet. But no flag. It was Carr, the defensive lineman, who eventually brought him down, and it was Richards, number 38, that got the initial pressure on Elliot Walters. And so this will bring up 3rd down and 12.
This is the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the game.
So we come to the 2-minute warning. Let's quickly hear from our sponsor. Welcome back to the action. The 2-minute warning's just gone. It's 3rd and long for this Tamworth Phoenix side as you join us here. Tamworth Phoenix looking to cement this 12-7 lead into a win. Angus Cook takes the ball, but the referee blows the whistle. Let's see what this one will be. You have to say it'll be some kind of false start penalty.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 6. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So that's Jeffrey Ampong they call on the false start. And the woes for the Knicks offense on 3rd down continue as this will turn into a 3rd and 16-yard play. Critical down for both teams here. If the Leicester Falcons are going to get a chance for Van der Ven to come on and show what he can really do with that arm, then they're going to have to hold here. Let's see what Angus Cook can do with his own arm. Top of the screen, 2 receivers. Single receiver to the bottom. One back in. Trying to get Leicester offside again. And again, Cook will check the play. It's called in. And they will stay on the field. Snap taken, it's a handoff to Elliott. Tries to stay behind that big offensive lineman, but it's number 46 that comes in and finally makes the tackle. And that's Sidhu, who's been good on the field today. Has made plays when he needs to, and has not allowed Elliot Walters to escape. And so Elliot Walters, at just 5'6", he's trying to hide behind that big offensive lineman, number 51.
Timeout called by the defense. Second timeout of the half. 1 minute 51 remaining. 1-5-1.
1 minute 51 left in this one. And it's 4th down for Tamworth with a decision to make here. You expect Lankowski will give him that coffin corner punt, try and get the ball out of bounds as close to that Leicester Falcons goal line as he can. And if there's one man that can do it in Britball, it's Alex Bukowski. Low snap, has to pick it up again as he's done several times with the boot. And where will that go? Looks like it bounces back from the goal line and it will finally come to rest inside the 10. Right around the 6-7 yard line. Alex Lenkowski with a beautiful punt. So if Vanderven's going to do anything, he's going to have to do it from his own 6-yard line. Maybe the 7. We've seen the talent from Vanderven. He's certainly got the arm. The question is, has he got the receivers? Because we've seen some balls that have been on target but have not been caught. And it will be up to them to drive this team down the field. The running game has not been hugely effective for Leicester, but they have, towards the end of the second half, that initial touchdown came off a long drive that was well executed, all of those plays through the air. So let's see what Vanderven can do with 1 minute 51 left on the clock. One back in, receivers top of the screen and 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Vanderven now with the shotgun snap, takes the ball and rolls out initially to his right, now back to his left, and they finally get to him with the sack. So he's not in the end zone, but he's so close to the 1 yard line. He's actually on the 1 yard line now. So finally the Tamworth Phoenix managed to chase Vanderven down and get hold of him. It's been a long time coming, but they have got to him, and at a crucial part of the game. It was a great play there. Shotgun this time, goes to his left, and Jones does pick up. That will give him a little bit of breathing room on 3rd down, but it's going to be a tall order here. We are inside the 2-minute warning, so not much time left for the Leicester Falcons, and their backs against the wall on this 3rd down play. Vanderven has shown some real brilliance today, but he is going to have to pull something special out the bag. You expect that Tamworth will bring the pressure on this one, as they have done the whole game. 1 sack that they had on the previous down. But this time, they don't look like they're going to bring anyone. They send 3. Everyone else drops back. Vanderven looking, goes to his right, and it is caught! And that is a wide open wide receiver who's going to take the ball all the way down the field. It is number 19 dancing his way, trying to get into the end zone, but the ball's out. And Tamworth look like they've recovered the ball. So it's Anna Cunley who makes the catch, drives all the way down the field, and now the referees have a decision to make to see whether he actually got in the end zone or not before the ball came out. It was pulled out initially by Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs looks like he's actually recovered the ball. And it was Matsukateri. Sorry, not Matsukateri. It was the defensive back for the Phoenix, who was Johnny Weeks, who ripped that ball away from Anna Cunley. And Will Hobbs ended up with the ball. And the referees have got to make a decision about whether this ball actually crossed the goal line or not. So right at the end of this game, we have this crazy play. Vanderven making a great play to the wide open Anna Cunley. And Anna Cunley with that kind of dance one way, dance the other, trying to get into the end zone. He's saying he's got a touchdown. Will Hobbs and Anna Cunley coming up and saying, well done, we'll let the referees sort this one out. But what a play by both teams here. And, well, if we expected some excitement in this one, you've got it. Welcome back to British American football. Fantastic. We've had a great American quarterback making some great plays, and on 3rd down makes this fantastic play to Anna Cunley. But the competitive spirit of this Phoenix, even when you think you've scored, you have to really make sure that you have, because they will try and rip this ball away. And it was Weeks that ripped it away, and Will Hobbs that was there to recover it, so it couldn't be advanced by the Leicester Falcons. And the referees having a fully social distanced debate on this one down at the 2-yard line. What do you think, guys? Was he in? From this camera angle, it was difficult to tell. A fascinating end this is going to be. We've still got some time on the clock, so we'll see what else this game has to offer. But it's been a fascinating encounter between this Div 1 Leicester Falcons team and the Premier Tamworth Phoenix to kick off this 2021 season. And it's going to come down to a judgment call by the group of referees that you see in front of you. So let's see if we can get a call now from the referee. He's going to go over to Jason Scott and explain what has happened. And we will find out as soon as these coaches have found out. Leicester Falcons coach coming onto the field and saying, well, you're going to give us a call? Did we score? I don't think they're going to give the score. I think they're going to give the ball to Tamworth. But we will see. Let's wait for the call from the referee as the ball is handed back to him by Will Hobbs, who held on to it as long as he could, just to ensure that everyone knew that Tamworth came up with the ball on that one. So what a fascinating play. Anna Cunley running down the field. 80, 85 yards before Weeks ripped the ball loose. And the referees ended up with a decision to make.
Okay. Illegal formation by the offence. Half the distance to the goal, replay, 3rd down.
Wow. So all of that debate and the whole thing is wiped off the board. Anna Cunley's entire play comes back due to an illegal formation. We're going to do it all again. Well, if you wanted excitement, you're in the right place. So even if Anna Cunley had got in the end zone, he wouldn't have actually scored there. The play would have been taken off the board. Nevertheless, you've got to admire the Tamworth Phoenix defense, who just never say die, and are able to rip that ball out close to the goal line. All right, well, we've got another go at it. It's still 3rd down. This time it's 3rd and 15 for Van der Ven. What can he do here? He's asking DJ to line up to his left-hand side. He's going to send him out wide, so he's going to go empty set. Tamworth have been sending 3 on this, so should be able to be picked up by this 5-man offensive line. Empty set. Van der Ven with 5 targets out on the field. He's got to squeeze his way. This time he's going to scramble and run. Let's see what he can do with his feet. Dodging in and out. That's a nice tackle by Weeks, who comes up to make that tackle. But Van der Ven using his feet now to move this ball. He knows he's got very little time left on the clock here, but he does move the chains. So a 15-yard gain, which will take Van der Ven and this Leicester Falcons offense up to about the 24-yard line. 1st down, Van der Ven. Lots of time in the pocket. Now he's under pressure, more pressure. Gets rid of it and complete. And that will be short of a 1st down, but that's complete to running back Grosner. It's his first reception of the game. Sprinting back to the huddle. And this will bring up 2nd and short, but the ball, more importantly, is moving down the field. Leicester Falcons this time are having to take the time out to stop the clock. Grosner not able to get out of bounds. But Van der Ven with 2 plays that bring him...
Timeout called. Game. 4 seconds remaining on the game clock. 4 seconds.
So Leicester call the timeout with just 4 seconds left on this one. And it's going to take something really magical from Van der Ven if the Leicester Falcons are going to have a chance to win this one. Lots of heavy breathing going on in that huddle. They've given their all, has this Leicester Falcons offense. And at times, they've played really, really well. Van der Ven has shown great quality. This American quarterback that Leicester Falcons have brought over for this season. There's Anna Cunley, who had that play brought back, controversial play. But Van der Ven again is going to go with an empty set. And let's see what he can do from this position on the field. This time, the Phoenix are just going to send 2 linemen, and everyone else is going to be back defending this long pass. Pressure comes, Van der Ven hurls it up, and it's going to fall incomplete. Again, it was Weeks who was under that one. And he's had an excellent game as this game comes to an end here at Coleshill Football Club. Tamworth with the win over the Leicester Falcons. But you have to say, what a fantastic performance by both teams under difficult circumstances as we open this 2021 season. And if you wanted entertainment and we're back to British American football, then that's what you've got. Some great plays from both of these teams. You have to say the Leicester Falcons came out to win this game, and it was great to see what the American Van der Ven could do on the field, as well as some great defense from the Leicester Falcons. But they come up 5 points short to this quality Tamworth Phoenix side. Over the years have shown that whatever adversity comes up for them, they're able to make opportunities when they need to. They didn't have the best performance on offense. In fact, you could say that they struggled at certain times. But what you can say about Tamworth is that when the opportunities came up, they were willing to take them. So they had that initial score from Angus Cook, which was off the interception that Stephen Gregory gave them, the defensive lineman, off a Van der Ven pass. And they were able to take advantage of that through Angus Cook. And they were also able to take advantage of a good kick return at the beginning of the second half for Lenkowski to give them 3 points. And then the safety, which really came from a mistake from the Leicester Falcons receiver Jones, who caught the ball at the 1 yard line off a Lenkowski kickoff. So Tamworth Phoenix win this one 12-7. And it's been an exciting one, especially towards the end of that half. Thank you very much for watching with us today. If you want to catch some more American football action, then you can right now. You can switch over to the game that's being played currently between at the Hertfordshire Cheetahs Charity Day. That senior game has just kicked off, so there's plenty of football left to watch here on Onside Productions. We are very pleased to be able to bring you some American football this season. It's going to be an odd one, but it's going to be a fun one if you go by what we've seen today between the Leicester Falcons and the Tamworth Phoenix. As Stephen Gregory, who made that interception today, leads that Tamworth Phoenix victorious side out to shake hands with his Leicester Falcons opposite numbers. So we hope you've enjoyed the game today. Onside Productions will be bringing you games throughout this season, so do keep us on your subscribed channel on YouTube, and make sure you sign up for all of the social media that's out there to find out more about what Onside Productions will be bringing you. And it's great to be back. We're going to leave you now with the final score here. The Tamworth Phoenix 12 and the Leicester Falcons 7. See you soon. Bye for now.